Final day, 1999 Alberton Football League, and this is your coverage on South Gippsland's 3M FM, and the players of both sides, the Allies and Fish Creek, are lining up now for the playing of the national anthem. In the seconds game, Fish Creek 11-14-80 defeated Currumborough 7-5-47. As we introduce Graham Laird and Keith Kelly to our coverage this afternoon on 3M FM, at this stage, gentlemen, would say to you, the fact that Fish Creek have got through the seconds, you thought that might have been some sort of encouragement in what basically is going to be a difficult game for the seniors.
Yes, well, it should be, Alan. It should have been if the seniors are looking for a boost in any way, it would have been with their reserves winning this game. But just the way it is, it's a beautiful day for football. There's no wind, there's going to be no advantage to either end, and just they're going to find it hard regardless of what goes on. With the Allies side, I would say, Graham, Underwood seems to be missing.
Yeah, well, Underwood's missing. It looks like young Peel has got a game. And he wanted the ground. It's listening to this broadcast. He wears number 45. His name is not in the record.
Yeah.
But I think the Allies should be too good. We've got a perfect day for football. I believe that with Fish Creek reserves getting up, it should give the seniors a bit of a boost, but I must admit I was a bit surprised that when Fish Creek ran out, a lot of the senior players just ran to their seconds to congratulate them, etc., instead of maybe concentrating on what they're there for.
Yes.
But yeah, they've got time to get themselves back on track, most likely.
Yeah. Maybe they're just not quite focused properly there, Graham, as you say, but it would have been more fitting, I feel, as though if the reserves had lined up either side, encouraged the senior players onto the field and said, look, we're done it, boys, it's your turn. But it wasn't the case, and but as you say, they've got time to focus on things, let things soak in. There's a big crowd here, and it'll take a little bit to come down to earth and get your mind onto the game properly.
Ground conditions perfect.
Oh, you couldn't get a better day for a grand final, to be honest. Like, there's no wind advantage to any side, so I mean they can score both ends of the ground. And just for people who are listening, we'll be calling one end the town end, which is the town end of anyone that's been at this ground. The other end will be the sow yards, and we'll use the scoreboard as one wing and the club rooms as the other wing. So if anyone's listening and has been to this ground, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, any reason to change since 8:30 this morning on who you think will win the game?
Well, I can't see any reason whatsoever, Alan. The Allies, they're a pretty close-knit group, and they'll be focused right on. Their coach wouldn't have let anything get slip by him. He's pretty astute in everything he does as far as game plans and all that, and he'll have everything down. And Fish Creek, as we mentioned this morning, I honestly think it's going to depends how well they can get the ball away from the packs with Mitchell in the ruck, and Graham's got to play a big game for their side today. He's the one who's really got to lead from the front. He's the coach of the side. He's got to set the pattern for them, and I feel it will rely a lot on him.
Yeah, I think Graham's got to put himself, like the last couple of weeks, I don't know if he's carrying an injury, but he hasn't been putting himself on the ball that early. Like early in the year, he was just about running around all day long, and he's a very top footballer. I think he's got to put himself right in the game from the word go, because Adam Vardy, there's no doubt he'll put himself right in the middle, or be very close to the first touch of the ball anyhow. And I think Graham, as captain and coach, he's going to have to lead them, by example, and get the first use of the ball from Mitchell, because Mitchell's had a great final series, as we said earlier this morning, and if he keeps going, and these conditions will suit Mitch more than maybe the wet conditions did. So, I mean, should get first touch of the ball, and if he does, they've just got to get the ball away from the centre, as we said this morning, and their blokes on their back line have got the hardest job, because if they don't man up on these Allies forwards, they'll run amok, and they've got a habit of doing that, and it's same as when on their forward line, if they've got to defend as well. It's all right to attack the ball, but if you don't, like Lithgow, etc., they'll just run off you as a half-forward flank, and all of a sudden Lithgow will be down on their half-forward line kicking goals. So that's how much he runs. So
McGannon's another one that Fish Creek have really got to rely on too, I think, and he'll be a big difference. And I see he's possibly starting at centre half forward, not full forward, and that's a little bit hard to understand, I think, because on the smaller ground you'd imagine that he'd be, as you said, Graham, in between or down at full forward.
Well, we're not going to have time to go back to the studio before the bounce of the ball, because they're getting ready. Now, they've had the toss. Did we see who won it?
No, I didn't. Matter of fact, Alan, all I can say is that Fish Creek are kicking to the town end, unless there's a complete change of what's going on this ground.
But they've cleared the crowd off the ground now, and the umpire is set. We're probably only less than half a minute away from the bounce of the ball in the 1999.
No, Fish Creek are kicking to the sale yards end. They've played a shifty here. They've got McGannon lining up at centre half back.
Centre half back. Oh well.
No, well, you got to try all these little tricks early.
What they seem to be doing. They're trying to upsettle, I think, the Allies by having him running off the half back line to half forward. Maybe that might be their move.
It looks like he's
No, he's
siren sounds, and we're ready for play in the grand final of 1999.
And we've got Dwyer and Mitchell contesting.
Dwyer gets the first hit out in the centre. Mitchell grabs the first kick of the day and kicks it up to their half forward flank. It's out on the scoreboard side of the ground, and
Langstaff handball goes Australian. It's picked up by the Allies, Oliver Renshaw, and there's a pack forms.
Free kick, I think, to one of the Allies players. 31 it is. And it's Simon. No, it's not. 31.
I'd say it's Lithgow who's taken it.
Lithgow.
It was Jansen who picked the ball up and kicks it down where Mitchell's marked in the centre square for Fish Creek. He kicks across the Dorling on the wing. He gets one a little bit high, but it's called play on. He kicks it up towards the centre half forward line of Fish Creek, where it's handball back to Dorling, picks up the ball and kicks towards their goal, and the ball's tumbling towards the boundary line, and there it's forced over.
Forced out by Adam Vardy.
Early scoring would be important for Fish Creek because confidence and everything's going to have to go that way with them, isn't it?
Well, I think you've got to get the first score on the board in any grand final. That's the lifter. Is another throw in from the boundary and the two ruckmen. They just nullified each other. It's picked up by Fishy, but it's been taken out of the hands by the Allies, who are a lot more desperate for the ball at this start of this game. Oh, Jesus, a couple of elbows gone through there.
High.
The umpires have picked it up as well. So it's Regan Ryan with the ball on the half back line on the club room sides of the ground. It's been forced out of bounds. Just fixed near the interchange mark.
Dwyer and Mitchell are contesting in the ruck again, and
Garner comes over the back, knocks it forward.
It goes out of bounds just on the half forward flank for the Allies side.
Still no score on the T for Tyres scoreboard. 3MFM Grand Final 99.
We'll throw in again, and Dwyer gets the front position, gets a hit out where it goes to Dorling, who taps it on, and Garner picks up with a handball to his teammate in Ryan, who kicks down the field where
there's a free kick being paid, has there? I think there's a free kick being paid.
About 20 metres out from goal, and it's Heron for the Allies side, who's should put their first score on the board. From this position, he shouldn't have much trouble in putting it through the centre, I wouldn't think.
No, this confused me. So you've got just about the best centre half forwards playing centre half back. McGannon, like Fish Creek, they've just got me confused what they're up to.
He stayed there more than 5 minutes, so it's a serious move.
That's right. It's not a move to run up the forward line.
That's right, and I think Heron's just a little bit tall for McGannon here because he's a tall footballer. He comes in his left foot, and it's a good kick straight through the centre, and it's the first goal for the Allies side.
On the T for Tyres scoreboard, the Allies 1 goal straight 6. Fish Creek yet to score. This is 3MFM football.
Well, that's a good start by the Allies because Fish Creek took it up to their forward pocket and they cleared it out and brought it straight back down around the club room side and bang into, as we said, not into centre half forward, basically in between centre half forward and full forward, and Heron got the free kick and kicks the first goal.
So the move of Barry McGannon to centre half back wasn't just the first couple of minutes.
No, it looks like it's a set position.
I think they're concerned about Heron, to me.
Another centre bounce here. Mitchell gets a hit out, but he's just punched, not to anyone in particular. Picked up by Garner. He kicks down the centre half forward and over the head of Heron again.
Goes for one hand at it.
And that's picked up in the Fish Creek footballer in Serene.
Serene clears the ball and it's been hit forward again by the Allies. And they're putting a lot of pressure on Fish Creek and he's not getting any. Here's a free kick, I'd say, to Fish Creek. It's been given to Simons.
Yeah. Marty Simons of Fish Creek got a free kick. He short passed out the wing to Harris, and it goes over.
Lithgow punches the ball out of his hands, and it's gone out of the bounds.
But Fish Creek done all the attacking in the first few minutes of the game. They couldn't score, and Allies took it straight down and scored straight away. So they've got to make the best of it, the Fish Creek, when they get up their forward line.
Mitchell wins another hit out, but it's straight back, hit back by one of the Allies players. And there's another scramble on the middle of the ground, and there's another ball up, ran about just before centre half forward at the town end of the ground. We didn't mention the umpires earlier on. The umpires today is Steve McNamara and Chris Clements. I'd say 2 of the best umpires in the league at the moment, and congratulations to them.
And they're both fit?
They're both fit. I was talking to them earlier on. They're both fit.
Yeah. And the ball's There's Allies player held while he didn't have possession.
Niall
ball.
Thompson.
Niall Thompson.
Niall Thompson,
he's on the wing of the Allies. He's short pass into the leading Kyron Rendell, who drops the mark. Garner picks up the ball, looking for a player coming past. Can't find one, but he kicks it back towards the centre to Dwad Wire, who takes the mark about centre half forward.
Touchwood, I don't know if the mark was really held, and I know there's a crowd if you overhear him on the...
He looks for Pavey, and it goes over his head, and Ola Renshaw has come... Well, Lithgow's
come all the way down to the half-forward line.
Yep. So it looks like it's going to be another ball up here in the half-forward flank of the Allies forward line.
Well, is there anything noticeable early? I mean, it's been mostly in the Allies forward line.
I think Allies are a bit harder at the ball. I think that's what's been noticeable. They got 3 or 4 around the ball every time it gets loose. And we did say that this morning, that their tackling is very fierce and hard. Some people say they do tackle a bit outside the rules, but they get away with it, so good luck to them.
Another boundary throw in here where the Allies guy just punching his handball, couple of handballs through, back to Garner, who handballs across the curve. He short passes, but it's marked by McGannon in the last 10 metres of the Fish Creek back line. He passes the ball across to Clark, who fumbles, drops an easy mark, and he then tackles the Allies footballer in Craig Ola Renshaw.
It wasn't Clark, it was Simons.
Yeah, Ola Renshaw, who gets a free kick about 45 metres out from goal. He's taking his time here. He's looking for a lead from the Allies guys. They're all manned up on, so he kicks long. It's a long kick into the goal square where it goes off hands and over the line for a point for the Allies.
And that takes the T for Tyres scoreboard to the Allies 1-1-7, and leading Fish Creek yet to score, and we're at about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. Grand final 99 3MFM football.
The ball's been kicked out straight to the boundary. I think he's kicked it out on full. What a bad blue. He tried to find Graham, but it went well over Graham's head. And the ball's gone straight back into the centre and has been marked by Pavey.
Yep. A beautiful pass from Ryan. He was on the boundary line. Pavey led to the centre, and he's about 35 metres out from goal with another fairly easy shot for goal.
It's a bad blue by the Fish Creek fullback to kick it out on the full.
Yes, they can't afford these mistakes at the moment. The Allies, they'll capitalise on these, and it's straight through the centre again. It's a goal to Pavey.
So looking ominous, taking the Allies on to 2-1-13. Fish Creek yet to score on the T for Tyres scoreboard. South Gippsland's 3MFM Grand Final 99. And I don't know at this stage whether we have any checks on the AFL today as yet. Do we, David? Back now to the Alberton Football League Grand Final.
Another centre bounce up, one by Mitchell, and he hits it down to Shaw. Shaw handballs it back to Mitchell, who doesn't get a good kick away from the centre, and the Allies just formed onto the ball once more.
Picked up
kick it up to Heron, who's playing the ball in front of McGann, and I think this is going to be I still believe it's not a very good move by Fish Creek to put McGann in the centre half back.
The ball's forced out on the boundary, over the boundary line, about halfway between half forward flank and the wing on the Allies scoring end. Mitchell goes up in the ruck, it goes over their head, he hits it back out to the Allies footballer, who kicks it up to...
another fumble by Fish Creek. They've cleared it away now by...
McGannon picks up the ball, and he's
been smothered. Good football. That was well smothered by Ashley Walpole.
It looks like the Fish Creek side have got a loose player down their back line already, and it's not good.
Another knockout win by Mitchell. He hits it straight down to Simons, who mishandballs it to Garner
and Shaw, and it bounces over Fish Creek's head, and it's out of bounds again. I see Kyron Rendell in the ruck there against Mitchell there, so he looks like he's taken over a ruck role for Allies.
Well, I think on the four line they drop what's named back to the centre.
Yeah, Brad Dwyer standing in the centre.
There's another ball just
been forced over the boundary line, about 20 metres around from the Allies behind post.
Here we have another throw in at the town end on the
Pavey comes from the back, he punches and it goes straight in the hands of McGann, and he kicks long up to the wing of the grandstand side where the ball bounced out over the boundary line again for another throw-in. A little bit defensive at the moment.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're just grabbing the ball and kicking it anywhere, Fish Creek, at the moment, because they just can't get loose men anywhere on the ground. Another throw-in. Mitchell wins it again, and he knocks the ball straight down to the Allies.
In Damien Kerr.
Damien Kerr, who kicks it back. McGannon went for the mark, but he was spoilt pretty well, and it's picked up by Livingston, who handballs it out of bounds. There's a lot of pressure on Fish Creek. Oh, he picked a free kick out. It looks like the umpires deemed that he was hit too high. Yeah. No, it's not his.
It's Marty Simons.
It's Marty Simons' free kick. It must have been held, which we didn't see.
He kicks it to the wing, up to Langstaff, who takes a good mark for Fish Creek. And he plays on now, up to the half-forward flank for the Fish Creek side. There's no players at home, where the Allies player in Neil Vardy dropped the mark that he should have held, really. Out of bounce right in front of the grandstand on the outer wing. Ball's thrown in. Mitchell and Dwyer go for up in the ruck. It's picked up by the Allies player in Thompson. He handballs over to Walpole, who handballs it on and kicks down the forward line.
Could be a free kick. No, it's not.
This Rendell was pushed in the back, but the Fish Creek player got away with that. This kick long up on the half-forward flank of the Fish Creek side. They've got an opportunity here, but it's all Allies, and the Allies footballer here in Lithgow dropped the ball when he was held onto, and it's a free kick to Harris of Fish Creek, and he's looking for loose players, and he's found one here.
Can't pick him out from
no, it looks like another Harris.
I think it could be the other Harris.
Yeah, two brothers kicked across to one another. Where it's punched out, and it was just a kick that just went anywhere and dropped by the Fish Creek player in Clark.
He should have taken that mark as well. This is the problem. They're not.
Here's Lithgow again. Yeah, it's good football, and he handballs across to Ryan, who kicks down towards the centre where it's all Allies here, and Damien Kerr's got an opportunity here, but he's bumped as he goes to kick, and the ball's forced over the boundary line by Serene of Fish Creek.
In the forward pocket on the town end of on the outer side of the ground.
So it's not only a lack of opportunities for Fish Creek to get it up in the forward line, but not doing anything for the couple of times it's got there.
Well, that's right. I think the defence of the Allies is just too strong for them. Another throw in, and it's been won by Mitchell again, but it's been sharked again by the Allies.
Oh, there's Heron kicked another goal.
Sitting in the goal square by himself, and it looks like he's kicked another one.
It's a bounce over the
umpire gives it to him.
And the Allies move along on the T for Tyres scoreboard to 3-1-19. Fish Creek yet to score, and this is 3MFM football.
It's backfiring a little bit here, Graham. As you said, that's 2 goals Heron's kicked this quarter, and he's got McGann on him. I think Fish Creek has got to be more positive with this. Get McGann up onto the forward line, and let's start attacking instead of playing a defensive game.
Well, that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be defending this time of the day. You should be attacking right from the word go. Another ball up. It's been nullified. It's not won by anyone. It's just on the ground at the moment. It's been cleared by Mitchell, who takes a big kick up the centre half forward, and I think it's going to be easily marked by, oh, geez, he's dropped it, and now he's got a free kick anyhow.
And Gary Jones has taken off for the Allies side. Peel's on for him.
Neil Vardy has just been paid a free kick, and he
kicks across to Pavey.
Phil Pavey. Phil Pavey will take the big kick straight down towards Garnham on the half-forward flank. And Garnham just goes for the mark and misses. It's been well sharked by
Peel, who's just come on the ground.
Lucky not to get a free kick, but it's been cleared away by Clark of Fish Creek. He's kicked it straight to Graham, I think it is.
Yes.
It is Graham. He's looking for someone up on the wing, but it's been good mark by Neil Thompson. And he kicks it back into the centre, and it's been marked by Vardy, I think. Or was the umpires paid the free mark? Yeah, he has paid the mark.
Brad Dwyer takes the mark in the centre.
Sorry.
He handballs across to Lithgow, who's having a good game already.
Another mark dropped by Fish Creek. It's been a ball. It's been forced out. And it's been picked up by the Allies, who go towards goal. And he's hit the post.
And that moves the score along. The Allies are...
I think it might have been Kyan Rendell.
The Allies are 3-2-20 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. Fish Creek yet to score. This is 3MFM football.
The ball's been kicked out from full back towards the half-forward line, but it's been marked again by the Allies, by Regan Ryan. He goes back into towards the centre, and there's 3 of them. And it looks like they're going to mess it up, though, if they're not careful. No, they're on the move too quick.
Pavey gets a handball out. It's the ball's been brought back to the centre of the ground where it's Phil Pavey who takes a free kick for the Allies. He's got Allies players loose here on the wing, but he's looking to go and send it straight down the centre of the ground.
He's going to have to try and pinpoint one. So I notice Mitchell's dropped back into the hole, but here's the ball's gone in there. It's been punched away and it's been picked up by, I think it's
Walpole.
Walpole.
He's copped one too high and he's got a free kick. He's right on the boundary line, about 30 metres out from goal.
And on the best side of the ground, most side they kick it to from, on the club room side.
You look up the other end of the ground, Graham.
There's nobody.
Well, it's a beautiful
kick.
It's
on the right side of the ground, and he's kicked it straight through to Walpole. So that gives the Allies another lift, and you know, Fish Creek have had it in their foreline, but just can't score.
Okay, on the T for Tyres scoreboard, the Allies move on to 4-2-26. Fish Creek yet to score. I mean, is there any hope that Fish Creek, even before quarter time, can turn it around and stop it being the rout that some people suggested it might be?
Well, you know, they've had enough of the ball. They've just got to start using it properly. I know they're under pressure when they get it, but like they're winning in the ruck. I'd say Mitchell's, you know, winning every hit out there.
This was the biggest concern. He's not hitting the ball to any of his on-ballers.
It just went another ball. Dawling's just picked it up from the hit out. He's kicked it forward, and here goes Harrison.
Picked up by the Allies player. Good handball, and he finds a...
Curry found it. There's another one too high, and that's
Vardy.
Vardy, I mean.
He copped one too high. It's kicking off from centre half back for the Allies. He finds a loose player, run down the ground. The short pass across. There was a good pass, and the Allies have got loose players running everywhere at the moment, and Fish Creek have got to start man up. There's a long
kick. Great mark.
Damien Kirk has marked out 45 metres out from goal for the Allies.
Might be a bit out of his range, I think. I think he's going to have to look, but he's going to have a go at it, I'd say. They've dropped the big blokes back into the square. He's got it up in the air, and I think it's going to go offline for a point. He's gone through for a point. He's tried to kick it too hard.
And moves the score on the T for Tyres scoreboard to the Allies 4-3-27, leading Fish Creek yet to score. This is 3MFM football.
Here we are with another kick out, and they've kicked it straight to another Allies player. Like
Clark looking for Dawley, kicked it over his head. And they've got Allies players everywhere in the centre. Kicks across to Brad Dwyer, who takes a mark, an easy mark. There's himself and Peel there. 2 Allies players by themselves, about 45 metres out from goal. And that's poor manning up by the Fish Creek players at the moment.
He's gone back to have another go at it too. I mean, he's not looking for anyone short.
No, the Fish Creek players are just trying to crowd the back line. That's a beautiful kick. His distance is there, but he's... tried to kick it too hard, and it's screwed off the left-hand side and through for a behind.
Moves the Allies on to 4-4-28. Fish Creek yet to score on the T for Tyres scoreboard.
They've gone back to get McGannon to kick out now. The last 3 that they've kicked out have gone anywhere, and now McGannon's going to go the big kick straight up, and it's a good kick out. That's gone around about 55 metres. But
Hickey gets a free kick for the Fish Creek over the shoulder. Ryan just got over his shoulder as he went for the mark. He's short pass to Graham. Graham on the wing here. He's got an opportunity to handball across, which he does to Harris of Fish Creek, and he's played on, kicked up towards no one in particular.
Bad disposal, and they got a free kick out of it later. The Allies player picked up, didn't mark it, but he marked it and tried to play on, but he was tackled fairly, and he's been...
Fellows of Fish Creek. It was a beautiful tackle, and there was not much talk there by the Allies players, and Vardy was caught. He should have played on, got away with the ball. It was a good tackle, and he's about 40 metres out from goal. He's got an opportunity to put the first score on for the Fish Creek side. Comes in to kick, and he's run too close to the man on mark and messed it up, and it's a mark for the Allies player, and just can't pick it up right down the goal square, but it's Thompson again. Yes,
I think it is Thompson.
He kicks off in the goal square, over to Pavey, which is only about 15 metres away. A short pass, and they're just doing as they please at the moment. Fish Creek have got to start manning up. at the moment they're just getting the ball, kicking it anywhere. And here's Heron and Stanfield, McGannon go for it. It's picked up by Olorenshaw, I think, of the Allies, but kicks down where it's marked at centre half back by Hickey for Fish Creek. His long kick goes to Fellows again, who takes a good mark for Fish Creek. But let's see if he can deliver the ball a little bit better this time.
He's found Graham out there, but no, it's a good punch away by the Allies out on towards the club room side of the ground, and the ball's just been fought out between 3 or 4 players. It's been picked up by the Fish Creek player, and he's been tackled, and the ball's been clamped away. I think it's going to be forced out of bounds.
A couple of free kicks went begging there. I think Lithgow was a little bit unlucky not to get one into the back, and the umpires let it go a little bit there.
It's not out of bounds, it's just a ball up right on the boundary line.
And Brad Dwyer gets a big punch out, and no one in particular. Graham with an opportunity. He leaves it for Harris. Handballs across to
Shaw. Shaw goes for goal, and I think Fish Creek had kicked their first goal. That was the best build-up they've had for a while, like 2 or 3 of them involved with no opposition from the Allies. So Shaw's ran in and kicked the goal, and I think that's a goal they really needed to maybe give them a lift.
Opens the account for Fish Creek on the T for Tyre scoreboard. They are now 1 goal straight, 6 behinds, trailing the Allies 4-4-28.
There's a little bit better teamwork there. It was instigated by Graham. He's the player who's got to show the way for this Fish Creek side, and he's starting to get into a play a little bit better now. I see Pavey's picking him up in the centre there, which is an interesting duel there. Another ball up, and Dwyer goes for it. He gets a hit out to no one in particular. It's picked up by Fish Creek. Handball across to Graham. He kicks long. It's going up there to centre half forward line, and Fellows just dropped an easy mark for Fish Creek, and it's then picked up by Hoskins.
Hoskins, who has a go at him, and I think he's kicked it out on the full. That was an opportunity he went missing because he was principally by himself. He could have ran another 2 or 3 yards and settled himself down, but he went to kick as soon as he got it.
Lithgow with a free kick here. Kicks in, kicks long towards Thompson. Regan Ryan, I'm sorry. And then Pavey takes the ball, takes a mark, and he's got plenty of time. There's Allies players in the centre there, and it's Jansen who goes over his head, who's looking for.
Heron, it's been handball, and the Allies are in attack again, and it's been kicked forward. Garnham missed a pretty hard mark, but he battled up and got the handball back out to him, and Fish Creek have got the ball out towards McGannon at about in between fullback and centre half back, and he's just kicked it out of bounds on the far side of the ground.
Just out of the reach of Marty Simons, and it could have been another build-up, but they're not quite delivering the ball well enough. Mitchell and Dwyer again in the ruck.
Another win by Mitchell, and he's hit it towards Graham, but they've manned up on him now, so he's not getting a free run at the ball, and that's good tackling by the Allies, and they've just forced the ball back out of bounds once again in the same place as where the last throw-in come from. Waiting for the umpires to grab the ball and throw it back in. Got Mitchell against the wire again. Mitchell wins it again. This time he's hit it straight down to the arms of Harris, who then gives it back to Graham, who goes for an underground hand pass. The fortune's been picked up by Matty Simons, who kicked the ball out towards the wing in front of the stadium side of the ground, and it's gone out of bounds. They're not going very direct, are they? They're being forced out wide all the time, every time they get the ball by Fish Creek.
On this ground, you've got to play straight down the centre, and they've got taller players in their goal-to-goal line-up. Fish Creek should be looking for that way, direct way home. Another boundary throw in where the ruck duels are sort of nullified by one another. The ball's tapped out by Allies player, and it's stacks on the mills at the moment, and the ball will be balled up by Clements in the centre of the group.
Would you think a quarter-time break would be helpful to Fish Creek to try and perhaps just do a little bit more about their game plan?
Well, they should be doing it from the coach's box at the moment, I think. They've got to make a couple of moves here.
I think they've made a few moves, but I don't think any of them have worked out. I think they've made a few changes to the side.
Jansen picks up the ball, a handball across towards the Allies player, who kicks down towards Heron, who dropped one he should have taken on his chest. His handball goes to nobody in particular, and where a Fish Creek player picks it up, he's tackled, but he gets his kick in, but it's straight to the Allies player in Neil Vardy, who takes a safe mark on his chest. He kicks across the centre, straight across towards...
Changing direction here, and they've got players everywhere here, but I think he's got away with it, but I don't think there was anything in that one, to be honest. He fell down.
Zach Blake came in very solidly there, and Pavey was on the end of receiving one a little bit too high.
Would Pavey be the leading possession getter so far?
There's been a few on the Allies who've had a few kicks, and a beautiful pass.
Shocking kick.
Oh, no, there's cut out by Livingston, who got in front of the Allies player. He takes a mark, he kicks across the high skirts, about centre half back for the Fish Creek side. He plays on quickly, kicks across ground to nobody in particular, and it's all Allies here, and there's a good mark then taken by Vardy again. That's Neil Vardy on the centre wing. He short passes to Oliver Shaw. No, Thompson, I would say it is from here, sorry. And he kicks long down to that centre half forward. We've got Heron here, a little bit of height. He's against Mitchell.
Two of them on him, of course, Mitchell and McGannon trying to nullify him, but he's the one that's recovered. He hits the ball back out towards his half-forward flank, but there's too many Fish Creek players here. And
picked up by Hickey, but then his kick is straight to the Allies player and Craig Allorenshaw again. So Fish Creek are just getting the ball. They're kicking to anyone at the moment. There's no teamwork in it whatsoever. And as Allorenshaw then finds Damien Kerr about 50 metres out from goal. But it's a fairly crowded Allies forward line at the moment. Pavey picks it up off the pack. His left foot shot for goal, and it's bounced through for a goal to the Allies side.
Another goal.
And the Allies move along to 5-4-34, leading Fish Creek 1 goal straight on the T for Tyres scoreboard, and this is 3MFM football.
Putting a lot.
And there's a very happy Graham Laird watching and listening to the footy today now.
Yeah, well, if I start carrying on halfway through, it won't because of this game, I don't think.
In all fairness, you can have it. I sat here this year and this time last year and listened to the Demons doing it. It's your turn.
Here we are back in the centre. The two ruckmen go for it. It's been nullified by both of them, but it's been cleared away. No, it hasn't been cleared away. Nick Shaw's picked it up off the ground, and he's just had a little kick that went about 2 feet up in the air. Oh, geez, it's hard in the centre there now. They're not giving any. Both sides are having a feeding them dip at these loose balls, but he's been picked up and cleared away.
There's Lithgow again from the half-back flank. And Zach Blake marks for Fish Creek at centre half-back. He transfers play across the outer wing where it's picked up by Graham. He doubles back, handballs across to Hickey. He's running free at up along the wing. He's looked for Langstaff. Langstaff's taken a good mark about 50 metres out for goal.
Fish Creek have made the move, boys. They've put McGannon back to centre half forward, and they've put Meyer back to centre half back. And he's passed the ball in to Fellows. By Fellows.
Yeah, that's the third opportunity he's had for kicking for goal. One was a poor kick, and let's hope he's only about 35 metres out from goal. He should make this distance. Yeah.
He's had a couple of goes at him before and he hasn't been able to get them, so like this would be one that would be very handy to him at the moment, and he's had a go at it, and I think he might have kicked this one low.
It's a good kick. It's straight through the centre.
Straight over the goal umpire's head, and that's a good goal for Fish Creek when we're talking about, what are we, 26 minutes into the first quarter.
Well, it was the goal they needed to keep them in the game, and on the T for Tyres scoreboard, we've now got the Allies 5-4-34 leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight. At least you can say Fish Creek are accurate. And we're at the 25-minute mark of the first quarter, grand final 99. Looks like it's Carlton Essendon next week, Graham.
Here we go for another centre ball, bound up, and the two ruckmen go for it, and it's been won by Dwyer this time, who hit it down to
Jansen, who fumbled the ball.
He's not very often he'll fumble it, but the Fish Creek are having a bit of a go at the ball at the moment, and it's been picked up and cleared by Graham, who's kicked it out to the half-forward flank on the clubroom side of the ground, and it's just been forced out, I think, by the Allies player.
Yes, Neil Vardy, who punts the ball over the boundary line, but Fish Creek are still indirect. They're kicking out wide instead of straight down in the centre. They've got a little bit of a run on here. They should keep the ball going straight down the centre.
Another throw in from the boundary. It's been won by Vardy, who kicks it down.
Lithgow
kicks it up forward, but geez, the ball's bouncing area, which this oval ball does. Mitchell had it clear, but it's been punched away from him, but I think it'll be forced out of bounds. No, it's not. The Allies
picks up the ball by Peel. He kicks across the centre, a good centering kick.
It's nearly a free kick anyhow, I'd say, for Holden, but he took the mark anyhow.
Welshpool
played on.
The short pass. Oh.
And Fish Creek is saved by the siren.
Yes, could have quite easily been a free kick.
There's the siren at quarter time on the T for Tyres scoreboard. It's the Allies 5-4-34 leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight. Right, the umpires are getting ready now for the bounce of the ball in the second quarter. We'll stay with it now because we're close to play. And as we head into the second quarter on the Tifa Tyres scoreboard, the Allies are 5-4-34, leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight.
Here we are waiting for the umpire, holds the ball up. The start of the second quarter. McNamara's got the ball. He comes in and bounces the ball high. And Mitchell wins another hit out straight down the centre of the ground. This is where we said they should go. McGannon's gone to centre half forward. He gets the handball out. And
Langstaff.
And he kicks it forward. They've been knocked away by Lithgow, away from
Fellows, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Now, it was quite obvious from that move there that there is still a game plan to come out onto the wing and the flank here, isn't it?
Well, I think they're forced out that way, I think, more than anything else.
McGann and Dwyer goes up the throw-in from the boundary lines. Picked up by the Allies player Brown. He kicks it up towards centre where Mitchell
has had it punched away from him
by Welshpool. He
over to Garnon. Garnon kicks it forward over the top of Heron's head, but he's got the run of the ball more than what the Fish Creek done, and I think he's forced it out of bounds. Around about the half-forward flank on the clubroom side, up towards the sale yards end of the ground. See, that's the difference. See, they brought the ball out, the Allies, and have cleared it out in 2 kicks. That's the difference, I think.
They got the better bounce there. Blake of Fish Creek unfortunately got a bad bounce, and
Heron goes for the hit out against Mitchell. Heron wins it, but knocked it straight down to Fish Creek player. Garnham picks it up. He handballs it straight out to, I think it might be Buckley, is it? They kicked it forward. And it's been played around up and it's been well cleared by Fish Creek. I think it's been cleared away by Wron, who's kicked it out towards Harris of Fish Creek, who takes a bounce and runs around his man. That's confidence football. He kicks it straight forward. Straight to Dwyer, who looks like he's going to be dropped back in the hole for him. He handballs it to Lithgow, who kicks it out towards the clubroom side. It's been punched away by the Fish Creek players, and I think it's going to be, there's nearly there is a free kick in the back to Walpole. They're not careful, they'll get a 50-metre penalty here at Fish Creek if they don't bring it back. Knowing these 2 umpires, they don't give you anything for nothing.
He kicks long.
He kicks it long straight up towards full forward, and it's a great mark by the Allies player. I think it might be Damien Kerr, is it? Yep,
yes,
it is
a good
Kerr.
mark. About 50 metres out from goal. He kicks long. There's no one at home there, and Clark just gets a hand onto it and forces it across the through for a point for the Allies.
So the first score in the second quarter is to the Allies, and they move along to 5-5-35 to Fish Creek 2 goals straight on the Tifa Tyres scoreboard. 3MFM football.
Ball's been kicked in and marked by Matty Simons. Matty Simons looking for the loose man up the ground in Wron.
He gets a free kick.
He's got the free kick.
Garner was a little bit high on him. He plays on quickly. He kicks long. And there he finds Zach Blake, who dropped an easy mark, bounced off his chest, picked up by Jansen. He short pass, and then he gets the handball back. He kicks long towards goal, and it's swung through for a goal. So the wind took it across. It looked like it was going through a point at first, but it was a good kick by Jansen. He kicked from about 45 metres out from goal and put through another one for the Allies side.
And they move along now to 6-5-41, leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight on the Tifa Tyres scoreboard on 3MFM football.
There we go, waiting for another centre bounce here, and the ball goes up, and Mitchell and Dwyer go for it, and this time it's run by Dwyer, who down to
Pavey across the Garner.
Garner, who was under pressure when he handballed, was then picked up by Dorling, who's cleared it to their half-forward line, but it's just bounced over everybody's head at the moment. This is made for and Vardy staying back there. Now you watch this for a smart kick. Kicks it towards the boundary and forces it out of bounds.
Boundary throw in about 50 metres away from the Fish Creek goal. Pavey goes up, gets a big hit out, and it goes to Buckley of Allies. His short pass across to Walpole's brilliant. He plays on. He's in the centre of the ground. He kicks long, but it goes straight to the Fish Creek player. His kick was misdirected, and it's marked by Hickey for Fish Creek. He's on the half-back flank for Fish Creek. He kicks towards the wing. Mitchell goes up. He plays from behind, goes a punch. The ball goes on the ground, punched along the ground by the Allies player. Peel misses the ball. Picked up by Allies again in Damien Kerr, and it's punched away from them out over for a boundary throw just on the wing, halfway between the Allies' half-forward flank and the wing.
The ball's been thrown back into the play and the two ruckmen go for it. It was Heron and Mitchell that time. No one really got the ball, but it's been forced around on the ground by the Fish Creek players. They're under pressure all the time. Graham staged for a free kick, but Chris Clements, being the old fella he is, he never fell for that one, and the ball's gone out of bounds on the full. Out of bounds. Waiting for a boundary throw in on the half-forward flank on the clubroom side of the ground towards the so yards end of the ground. Another hit out, one by Mitchell. He's winning a lot of these hit outs, but they're not just, he's not hitting them anywhere properly. Oh, 31. Mr. Matt Simons, he had the ball, but I think he was more interested in
putting the elbow in a little
somebody
bit
out, but he missed him anyhow. He might have been fortunate he missed him, to be honest. But here's another throw in, and it's just...
Davey gets another big hit out.
He comes over the back all the time. He hits it down to, I think it's Craig Ollenshaw, who kicks it, goes towards goal, and it's been punched through for a point by the Fish Creek players.
So that moves the Allies along to 6-6-42, leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight on the T for Tyres scoreboard. 3MFM football.
It's Clark for Fish Creek kicking off here. They've got all the players manned up on, so he kicks long towards Heron. He punches the ball down to the front of the pack where it's picked up by Kerr. He handballs across to
I think there's a free kick to Kerr, I think. It's got to come back. Yep. I don't know which Simons it is.
It'll be Matt Simons.
So Matt, 34.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Marty Simons.
Marty Simons, sorry. Yeah. He gave away the free kick for a very crude tackle, to be honest.
Damien Kerr from about 45 metres out from goal hooks the ball across and...
no, I think it's been marked by Rendell.
Yeah, Kyron Rendell plays
and
on.
I think he may have kicked this one if the umpire's going to let him get away with it. That's the point.
They're conversing. A little bit of controversy. It's all we need, you know.
No, I think he's going to make him go back and have the kick. I don't know why. If he's played on and kicked a point, well, that's what the score should be. We're waiting for Rendell. He's been lined up by the umpire. He's trying to force people back to 10 metres from around him. He's right on the boundary line, right in the pocket. It's going to be a good kick if he can get it. And he's kicked it. I'm not sure what's happened here, but I think he may have kicked a point. That's all he's kicked.
Okay, so the Allies move along on the T for Tyres scoreboard to 6-7-43, leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight. If you've just joined our broadcast, apparently still quite a few people after scores from the early games today. In the fourths, Yarram 4-11-35 defeated Vina 1-2-8.
What a shocking fly.
And in the thirds, Currumbara 18-7-115 defeated Rovers 6-5-41. And in the seconds, Fish Creek 11-14-80 defeated Currumbara 7-5-47.
Sorry about that, Alan, but the full-back kicked it in and he miskicked it. It went straight to the Allies players, but fortunately for Fish Creek, they've mucked it up and they've only kicked it behind out of it. They should have got a goal out of that mess up because the ball was only about 15 metres out from goal.
That's a longer kick by Clark. It goes
That's
out
what
on
he
the
should
wing.
be doing.
Yeah.
Oh, great try for Mark out there by, I think it was Shane Buckley, but he's missed the ball and has been forced out of bounds in front of the scoreboard with the Allies kicking that end of the ground this quarter. Another boundary throw in, and Mitchell and
Dwyer gets a big hit.
This
goes
time
about
Mitchell this time, and
30 metres that hit out up into the forward line of the Allies, and the Allies have picked up the ball. They've got players running past. Handball by Rendell. He held the ball a little bit too long.
I think he's been pinned too, mate.
I'm trying from memory in 10 minutes of football. Have we had a move into the Fish Creek forward line in this quarter yet?
Yeah, we had one earlier on. They got the first move up there, but they got cleared away. The Allies kicked it down and kicked their first goal. But they haven't had a pass to centre since, and the way they're going, it's starting to look a bit ominous.
Pavey overrun the ball. He should have had it. Picked up by Jansen. He's got it. He's been tackled, fumbled the ball. And, well, it's getting a little bit rough in here at the moment where it's going to be a ball up.
I think the umpires are doing a very good job at the moment too. I think they're letting them play football and what football is all about. And that's what we want to see. We want to see blokes getting tackled. As long as they're tackled fair, there's nothing in it. Another ball up here, and it's been knocked down again by Mitchell, but it's been sharked by Garnham again, who fumbles the ball, but it's been...
Goes Walpole. Gets kicked in towards Rendell, and the ball bounces in front of him out over for a boundary throw-in, about 15 metres around for the Allies goal post.
Well, there'd be no reason to over-umpire a game like this with perfect conditions, would there?
Oh, no, but you can get umpires that will do that. Another throw-in, Mitchell wins it again, and he's hicked it straight out of bounds. It's been a change by the Allies.
Rendell.
Rendell is off, and
Jones is back on. The
on.
bloke who they carried off in the first quarter, so he can't be as bad as what some people thought he was. It's been a throw-in, it's been cleared away from the pack by Graham. It's been, there's nearly a free kick.
A little bit too high.
No, the umpire hasn't seen it. We're on the right side, he was on the wrong side, I'd say.
The Allies player in Ola Renshaw was tackled too high.
But you might have gathered from the sound effects very close to the Fish Creek cheer squad.
Been another ball up and it's been kicked forward by the Allies. I think this is Doring coming out of full back. It's cleared it towards Graham, and Graham's taken a mark on the half-forward flank up the soul yard.
Zach Blake here on the wing by
himself. He just kicked it anywhere, though. It's a shocking kick. He just kicked it straight towards the boundary.
And the ball's knocked out of bounds just in front of the Allies player in Stephen Brown. But had Zach Blake there by himself at Fish Creek, and Graham's kick towards him was a shocker.
I think there's a blood rule in place at the moment. Looks like Vardy's got to come off again. He went off earlier on with a split head, and he's done up like a bit of a mummy. It looks like the umpires have caught him bleeding again. And he's going to be replaced by Colin Rendell. Waiting for the ball to be thrown back in. Where Mitchell against Heron. And Pavey goes up over the top of both of them and wins the hit out. He hits it straight down to Regan Ryan, who handballs are back into play, but it's been cleared away by Fish Creek.
In Hoskins.
Well talked by Fish Creek then. I thought it was going to go over one bloke's head and he was going to fumble it, but his mate behind him said to leave it, and he took it. They've been kicked forwards towards.
And there's Hoskins with a chance. He handballs across to Fish Creek player, who just kicks it down anywhere, and Fellows and
Lithgow just once again forces the ball out of bounds. He punts it away from him and just casually then took the ball and forced it out of bounds.
He's playing a top game, Lithgow, even though Fellows had a couple of opportunities to kick goals.
Here we got McGannon and Dwyer this time against it. McGannon goes for it and no one really wins, and it's just been forced out of bounds once again.
And Jansen just punched the ball over the line for the Allies. Playing a little bit defensive at the moment.
Now we're waiting for the throw in, and we'll have McGannon against Dwyer again.
And Pavey
just takes the ball again. He's an expert at doing that. He reads the ball from those throw-ins a lot better than anyone else.
Walpole's playing a great game for the Allies.
He's forward and over to Heron, who kicks the ball off the ground.
Over to Kerr.
Straight into Kerr's hand. He goes onto his left and kicks it towards the goal square. Oh, Jesus, it's nearly a good one-hander, but it's been cleared away, I think, by Clark, is it?
Hickey.
Hickey it is, I'm sorry.
And he finds Graham in the centre. He handballs across the shore.
Shaw just kicks it to anyone again. They've not got no system coming in the forward line, and Vardy just clears the ball away straight back out towards
3 against 1 here. The Allies players, they do it quite easily. And a short pass in, which misdirected, picked up by Serena of Fish Creek, kicks it down to their centre half forward line, where the ball's punched from behind by Corin Rendell. It's getting a little bit lost for the players here.
It's got a bit of a pack, but he's been pinned for holding the ball. Geez, that's a good decision. He had a chance to get rid of it. Been kicked forward for Fish Creek, and it's been knocked away by Vardy out of bounds.
For so much of the play that the Allies have had, they really haven't made the most of it in this quarter, though, have they?
No, that's no. Even their delivery into their forward line's gone off a bit. I think they've just got the stage, they're just kicking them anywhere, and it's not helping them at all.
Teamwork's gone out of the game.
If Fish Creek could get a couple of quick goals here, they'd be right back in the game. There's no worries about that. The ball's been forced into their forward pocket. McGannon's got the ball, and he turns around and kicks it back in the centres the ball. And there's two on one here, and they've just done it so easily. Now there's 3 come into the equation, and it's going to be cleared away by, I think it's Rendell, is it? Corin Rendell who come on.
Yeah.
No, it's
he
not.
balks and gets a handball across to Heron. Heron kicks long, and the Allies here have an opportunity with Kerr, who missed the ball. The overrunner, he's got Hickey there fighting with him, and picked up by Kerr again. He handballs the ball out. We're a pack starting to form. The umpire's letting it go at the moment. Picked up by Livingston, tried to get a handball. but it was intercepted by Jones, who has a shot for goal from about 40 metres out, and it just goes on the left-hand side of the goal post, and another behind for the Allies.
Moves the Allies along to 6-9-45, leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight on the T for Tyres scoreboard. This is 3MFM football.
Another kick out from full back, and it's been sharked away by the Allies again. Garner's got the ball round about the centre of the ground. He just turns around and kicks it straight back towards their half-forward flank, but they're outnumbered here with the Fish Creek players. But another bad handball by Fish Creek straight down the Allies' throat, and he kicks it towards the pocket, and it's been marked by
Gary
Jones. He's had about 2 or 3 touches since he come back on the ground. And now he kicks the ball, he centres it. That's well played.
Jansen takes an easy mark about 40 metres out from goal. He's playing it well there at the moment, Graham. He's playing in the centre, and he's making himself available in the 50 metres scoring zone for the Allies side.
Yeah, Shorey, I haven't seen much of Shorey all day. I think he's been running around chasing him all day, and I think, that can be a big problem for Fish Creek. Oh, here's another kick, and I'm not sure if he's kicked this one. I think he has.
So the Allies move along with another one now. They are 7-9-51, leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight on the T for Tyres scoreboard. South Gippsland's 3MFM football 99.
Some of the Fish Creek players are walking around as though they think the game might be already over, which is just looking at a couple of them. They're kind of shrugging their shoulders, wondering what they're going to do, but what they've got to do is get the ball first. Like they're not out of the game by a long shot at the moment.
But you've got to wonder where 6.5 goals are going to come from.
I realise that, but it is a game of footy, and you're never out of it until the fat lady sings, as they say.
And I'm not singing today.
There's a ball up in the centre again there, where players are Fish Creek player on the bottom pack in McDonald, and umpire McNamara bounces the ball where Mitchell gets another hit out, but unfortunately, he has found a Fish Creek player in Hoskins. His handball goes astray. Across to the Allies player in, can't see, and then Renshaw end up with it. He's trying to beat 4 players, and he gets one a little bit too high, and he gets a free kick.
That's the difference of being first for the ball, and this is what he wanted the ball. The rest of the players were dwelling on him. Shaw kicks the ball forward to Garnham, who'll take an easy mark. There's no doubt about that when you put the ball out in front of this bloke. Yes. That's why he kicked something like 8 goals last year's grand final from full forward. He tries to change direction of the ball and kicks it straight across into, I'd say, no man's land. The Fish Creek players have been forced to drop the mark, and now all of a sudden I think the umpire's picked out a free kick.
Hickey for Fish Creek.
He's got round about centre half forward for the Allies. Hickey kicks the ball forward. He's looking for McGannon, but McGannon can't get near the ball at the moment. I think they're just doubling up on him, and this has been a problem.
Regan Ryan clears the ball out of the back line for the Allies players. He's playing well, and he kicked it to Walpole. Walpole's kick goes astray, and I think it's out of bounds on the full.
In the forward pocket on the scoreboard side at the sale yards end of the ground. That's the end that the Allies are kicking. So they're fortunate they got the ball at their end of the ground. But he kicks it a short kick in, and it's been spoiled by the Allies. They're very good at this. They just spoil it every time you go for a mark. They don't care about trying to mark it if you're in front. They'll punch the ball away from behind. And that's good disciplined football that's been forced out of bounds. Around about the 50-metre line on the scoreboard side of the ground. Another throw in has been Garnham come over the top and took it away from Mitchell. He's been forced forward, and it's not Olenshaw. Veal had a go at the ball, and there's Fish Creek players here everywhere, and they've marked it up. Tackle. I think, geez, nearly a free kick could have been given then for holding the ball, but they're going to clear it away. No, they're not. Tackled again. The Allies just keep this ball in all day long, and they just force it through for another point. Yeah,
Olenshaw of the Allies side.
And that moves the Allies on to 7-10-52, leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight, and I've got to guess this, we're about the 20-minute mark of the second quarter. The time clock's not operating.
The timekeeper forgot to start the clock.
But the smothering and tackling of the Allies side is great football. They don't give anyone a chance to get the ball away.
Ball's been kicked in, and I think Heron
should have been paid to mark.
Now he's given away a free kick. Yeah. He's a bit stiff not to be paid the mark from the kick in, but it's been kicked away by Sake Black, I think it was. Yeah. Now it's been forced out. Now there's another free kick. been picked out
This
by
one
the
to Zach
umpires.
Blake.
This is Zach Blake.
On the wing for Fish Creek. He
He's
drives in
he's
for
looking for
McGannon.
McGannon, but they just got him covered no matter what happens. And that's a
Pavey
good mark
chipped in
taken
front.
by Pavey. They just fill in the holes in front of him, and that's good football if you can do that, because you just don't let him run at the ball. Pavey's looking for someone to make the break for him so he can kick it, but he's just going to, I think, kick it.
There's a lovely pass
great
to Peel.
pass, isn't it, to Peel?
Yeah, to Peel. He's got the ball. He's got... they wait. They find the right player who makes the right lead. He's got Rendell leading, but he's picked up by the fullback, so he kicks long, where the ball's then punched by Hickey out over the boundary line for another throw-in, about 30 metres around from the Allies' goals.
And the Foster Oval bathed in sunshine.
Yeah, and I must notice that the crowd's gone very quiet to what they were in the first quarter of an hour. I think a lot of them are just starting to wonder what's going to happen here as the game goes on. They seem to have all lost their voice. But they've just got to keep at it. It's been sharked on the
Jansen
head
with
by
a
Jansen.
handball. Cross to Garner. Garner's about 45 metres out from goal, blazes away for goal instead of steadying, and his kick goes a little bit astray and another behind for the Allies side.
He's missed it as well.
And on the T for Tyres scoreboard, the Allies move along to 7:11:53, leading Fish Creek 2 goals straight. And this 20-minute mark of the second quarter, and of course the important aspect of that is Fish Creek have yet to score.
Here we go again. The ball's been kicked back in. It's a good mark there taken
Marshall Livingston.
Marshall Livingston kicks the ball out here towards
Harris on the wing.
Harris then goes for a short kick towards
Hoskins.
And he can run into a goal, but he centres the ball. That's good play.
And Langstaff's marked the ball about 30 metres out from the Fish Creek's goal.
My comment inspired that, I think.
I think that's the best move they've had since maybe the second goal they kicked.
Still playing wide all the time, Graham. It's good to play wide and come back to the centre, but they've got to start scoring goals, and they've got to score them quickly, and they're not going to do it by playing around the boundary line.
This one will help them out, though. It must lift their confidence they can kick a goal. Like they struggle all this quarter to even get the ball towards their forward line. So he's really got to kick this one for them, because this will be the one that could lift them. And I think he has kicked it by the crowd behind the goals, and it's all Fish Creek that end, the town end. So they've kicked another goal, and this should, a bit of luck should give them a bit of life. Like principally, they're not out of the game completely. What are we, 18? 35 points out of it. That's, you know, so I mean it's
6 goals difference at the moment,
six
and
goals,
but when you've only scored 3 goals in a quarter and a half, or a little bit more, that's a big score you've got to make up. And I think just at the moment the Allies, they've just been blazing a goal this quarter. Their coach will have a bit to say about that at half time, I would imagine.
Because they've only kicked 2 goals, 7 in the quarter.
Yes, they're just blazing away. They've forgot about the teamwork a little bit.
Another ball up, one by Mitchell down to Graham, who's been tackled as he went to kick the ball, and now we'll have another ball up in the centre of the ground.
And on the T for Tyres scoreboard at the moment, it is the Allies 7:11:53, leading Fish Creek 3 goals straight, 18.
Another ball up, and it's won this time by Dwyer, who hits the ball down, and it's just another pack that gets formed. And I think this is what the Allies are very good at doing, just closing the game right up on you. Another ball up, and it's Dwyer against Mitchell once more, and this time it's run by Dwyer, hits it down, and it goes to no one in particular, but the Allies are quick enough to get onto it.
Over to Kyron Rendell.
Kyron Rendell, and he can, Jesus, that's bad play. He had a bloke out about 10 yards out in front of him by himself. He could have dropped the ball into him. He blazed away, and the ball didn't quite get there and was forced through for a point.
He had Heron out by himself. He could have quite easily handballed across it to him, but as I said a few minutes ago, the Allies side just seemed to be blazing away this quarter.
Ball's being kicked in and marked by
Harris.
I think it's C. Harris. He marked the ball that kicks it out towards Sharon. Sharon takes a mark. Heron's trying to hold him up from playing on, which is good football. As long as you get away, but he's got away. He kicks the ball forward, and who's there? Oh, he ducked his head.
Yeah.
Pavey should have taken that mark, but he ducked his head at the wrong time. It's now out to Wallenshaw, who'll kick the ball forward, and look at this. I think that's, yep.
Yeah, Peel's got the ball. He's too fast.
He kicks it out. He centres the ball towards full forward, and they're all up. And the Allies are just going to force this ball down to the ground again, and there's a pack form. And I'm not sure if the umpires picked the free kick out of this.
on the bottom of this pack.
Yes. Or is it a ball up?
So it's going to be a ball up or Allies free kick, because Walpole was on the bottom of the pack, but it's about 25 metres out from the Allies goal. Garner went up with Mitchell, but Mitchell was a little bit too big, but the Allies players have got an opportunity here through Adam Vardy.
But it's been cleared away by Fish Creek towards their half forward line. They've got the ball on the half-forward line at the moment, and the Allies again are going to, I think they're going to clear this. No, they could have messed this up. McGannon goes for the ball, falls over, tries to get a free kick out of it, but he wasn't successful that time. The ball comes out to Graham, who kicks it forward, but there's no one there except Fellows and about 5 of the Allies players. They're going to clear this ball. Here's the captain, Neil Vardy. He's just going to bring the ball out. He kicks it towards Heron. No, it's been knocked away from him, and it's been picked up by Dwyer. Handballs to, and now it's over to Alan Shaw, who kicks the ball. He tries to centre the ball to Peel, and Peel, it's gone over it, well past him by the bounce. Another handball over, and I think the Allies are playing around this ball too much, Keith. I think they've got to get fair income and start kicking it.
Yeah, Regan Ryan here. Well, looks like they scored a goal after all the messing around they had this quarter.
Well, they certainly have scored the goal, and on the Tifa Tyres scoreboard, the Allies now move along to 8 goals, 12-60, and they are leading Fish Creek 3 goals straight 18. Tifa Tyres scoreboard, 3MFM Football 99.
Back here at Foster, waiting for the centre bounce, we have Dwyer against Mitchell again. These two blokes have had a feeding them dip all day, and that's good football. Dwyer wins that one straight down to the Fish Creek player, but it's been picked up by the Allies as he kicks it forward over to
Brown across to Vardy. He hands balls across the pavey. He's got a clear run down the centre. He's got time for look.
And have a look at this, 2 or 3 of them out here, and it kicks out to Jones in it, who seems to be hobbling again. And it's gone to Garner, but
beautiful
full forward.
Pass to Garner.
Yeah, I thought Jones was hobbling, and they're going to take him off.
He's only been on for half a quarter, testing the out, which he injured in the first quarter, and he's been brilliant while he was on the ground.
Here's Garner lining him up. Garner can just about kick this one. He doesn't miss too many.
He hasn't missed this one either.
And anyone who's got a memory of what he did last year down here, he'll do it again if they've put him to full forward.
And the Allies move along to 9-12-66, leading Fish Creek 3 goals straight 18 on the Tifa Tyres scoreboard, 3MFM Football.
And that's what the Allies have done. They have put Garnham to full forward, I think you'll find. I know he's coming back into the centre. I just thought maybe he'd gone to full forward, but he just must have wandered down there when no one was watching him. Waiting for the centre bounce. The centre bounces on and Dwyer and Mitchell, but it bounces Mitchell's way and he takes it out towards McGannon, hits it back over his head, but it goes straight down to the Allies.
And Buckley handballs across the Vardy. His short pass to the player on the wing of the Allies is marked safely, and
I think it was Regan Ryan who's kicked the ball out. He's kicked it to no one in particular.
And Fellows Fish Creek picks up handballs across the Fish Creek player in Simons. His kick in towards
I think that should have been a mark.
It should have been a mark. It's been called play on.
That one. He's the only one that touched the ball.
Yes, was missed. That one was missed by the umpires.
I think that was Nick Shaw too. Oh, geez, I think he's just given away a free kick.
Yes, it was Nick Shaw. It looked like Fellows from here, but it was Nick Shaw, and it gave away a silly free kick, and then it gives the Allies a chance in the player Brown.
Straight down towards. Can't pick the player out there.
A little bit hard across over that side of the ground.
There's a lot of people on the fence and he's right in the middle of them. He's kicked the ball back into the forward line. It's been punched away by Vardy and
picked up by Hoskins. His handball across to a Fish Creek player, and McGannon kicks off the ground.
No, it hasn't. It's come straight across goal.
And it's McDonald in lead for the ball here. He's got an opportunity.
And there goes the siren. And that's another good quarter by the Allies. I don't think they're going to be disappointed, except for maybe their kicking. Like, they would have blown about 4 goals in that quarter, which they should have kicked, but blokes just kept blazing away. So no doubt he'll get them to straighten it out. And when you start looking at some of these Fish Creek players, their heads are starting to droop and the hands are on the hips. They've had 2 hard games in the slog, in the wet, the 2 games they had previous to this. So I think it might start telling, like those days in the wet, it does tell on you after a while. And looking at some of their players, they look a little bit tired, which they have had to chase all day today too. So it's not going to be easy for him to get out of it. I just wonder how long they're going to leave Wooleman sitting on the bench. Like he's been sitting on the bench for a half, and I thought he would have been in their side at the start.
Well, we'll just check the scores on the Tifa Tyres scoreboard at half-time. The Allies are 9-12-66 and are leading Fish Creek 3 goals straight 18. And welcome back to 3MFM's coverage of the grand final 1999 in the Alberton Football League. As we head into the second half of the game, the Tifa Tyres scoreboard has the Allies on 9-12-66, leading Fish Creek 3 goals straight. And we are ready for the bounce of the ball in the second half of the grand final for 1999. And Keith Kelly will kick it off as soon as the umpire picks it up. Just briefly going back on what we said in the halftime summary, any hope Fish Creek at least making a game of it?
Well, at the moment I think they will really battle, Alan. They had 2 hard matches, and especially playing in the wet, their legs will start to give before the Allies do. And
you mean the wet as in the last couple of games?
Yeah, last couple of games. And I think that their fitness, even though they are a very fit side, they might just struggle by the end of this game. And at the moment, they've got to get the ball moving quickly, make better use of it, get it straight down the centre, which they've been playing around the flanks. And we're started here now, and there's been a centre bounce, and it's kicked off the ground by the Allies player, and it's out of bounds on the half-forward flank for the Fish Creek side.
Here we are waiting for another throw in, and Mitchell and Dwyer go for it once more. I think they just both nullified each other, and it's been forced forward by the Allies, and it's out of bounds right in front of their coach's box on the wing on the clubroom side of the ground.
Not organised, are we?
Another throw in, and it's just gone over the top of the ruckman, and there's another pack just about forming. It's been picked up by Fish Creek. Soren, who kicks the ball forward, and it's just been punched away again by Vardy, who punched the ball straight out of bounds.
Disciplined football by the Allies back players.
Well,
they're not in front. They punch the ball, and it's been very disciplined down there. And Dwyer and McGannon go up in the ruck. Dwyer gets a hit out. It's tapped on further again across to Jansen. Jansen's got a clear run. He kicks long and looking for Thompson. Goes over his head and picked up by Walpole. He hit, kicks across towards Garner, where Garner dropped the mark, and it's picked up by
Clark, was it?
Clark. No, Marshall Livingston. And the ball's forced back to the centre of the ground.
This is by Harris, and he was under pressure when he tried to handball it out. And the Allies have got the ball. They just kicked it out of the pack, straight towards their forward line.
And this is Clark, who's got the ball now. Dodges around an Allies player. Kicks down towards McGannon. McGannon's taken his first mark for the day. He handballs across to Harris of Fish Creek. He kicks it up towards the centre half forward line, where the ball's on the ground, and there's a pack starting to form, and the umpires call the ball up.
Well, in 60 seconds of football, at least the Fish Creek are equal in possessions and the location of the ball.
That's right, and they haven't got further behind the scoreboard.
Exactly.
There's ball up in the centre of the ground here. Dwyer and Mitchell will go for the knockout. Ball doesn't bounce very high. It's crumbed by Pavey. He gets a handball out towards their forward line. Picked up by Soren, who kicks wide again for Fish Creek. They're still playing out round the flanks, and the ball's gone out for a boundary throw in front of the grandstand.
Waiting for another ball in. Throw in, it's been thrown in against Mitchell and Dwyer again. This one's hit by Mitchell, and he's just hit it forward, but McGannon's onto it this time, and he gets a kick away. No, it's been smothered by Vardy, and now there's another pack being formed. I think we'll find there'll be another ball up here very shortly. It's on around about the half-forward flank for the Fish Creek side, who are kicking towards the Sale Yards end of the ground, round about on the scoreboard side of the ground. Clements comes in to bounce the ball down. It's a good bounce by Clements, and it's been won by Dwyer that time, but it didn't go to anyone in particular. It's been picked up and cleared by Pavey, and it's been forced out towards the boundary, and it's been forced out of bounds.
That was most helpful, Graham. I've got a very big family birthday party to go to tonight with relatives from all parts of Victoria, and I was just thinking if they listened to the radio now and heard Clements bounces the ball, they'd say, young Allen's out there umpiring these days.
Yeah, what are you going to take the tape tonight, eh? All this has been picked up. There's a free kick. No, he's paid the free kick for Fish Creek, but he can't play on. He's got to go back behind his mark. I think you'll find it is Soren. He was taken round the neck. Now he just kicks the ball forward, and he's looking for Vulemans on the ground at full forward. We must have pulled something right at half-time, fellas. We wondered why he wasn't on the ground in the first place.
Yeah, we couldn't understand. Just that they needed someone like this on the ground who could take a mark, because they were dropping too many marks. And Fish Creek just needs someone to set them alight, have players running past, and Villeman onto the ground. He's only been on for a few minutes, first run for the day, and he's taken the mark about 25 metres out from goal. He shouldn't have any problems with this, but it screws off the side of the boot.
That's a shocking kick from where he was sitting, standing. He should have kicked that. That's the one Fish Creek wanted, the first one in the third quarter.
And blemished their accuracy record too. They move along, Fish Creek, to 3-1-19, trailing the Allies 9-12-66 on the T for Tyres scoreboard, and this is 3MFM
Been
football.
kicked in and marked by Rendell. He handballs it out to Olenshaw, who then handballs it over to, I think,
Regan Ryan
it was. I thought it was him, and he kicks it into Heron. Heron's dropped another mark. He's dropped a few. A little bit of disturbance on here in front of us on the wing. I can't take my eyes off the ball at the moment, but no worries. The umpire will sort this one out. I don't have to worry about sorting it out themselves.
You watch the ball, I'll watch the fight.
And it's kicked down towards the Fish Creek half-forward line where Graham runs for the ball, but he's out-manoeuvred by Lithgow. He's playing a good game, but his kick just goes right to the centre ground where it's marked by Harris of Fish Creek. He runs around his player, and he drives the ball long in towards the forward line.
Lithgow used his body well to put the Fish Creek player out of the, but he didn't take control of the ball. Fish Creek had got it now.
Marty Simons handballs out towards Harris.
Harris picks it up, and he's looking for someone to pass it off to, but there's no one there. Kicks it straight back into Dwyer's area. Well done by Graham to spoil Dwyer, and it's gone back out to Fish Creek, and he kicks the ball. Good mark, I think, this time by Harris again, isn't it?
Yes, it's Harris of Fish Creek. It's Chris Harris. He's kicking from about 55 metres out from goal. He's got to have a player lead for him. At the moment, McGannon makes the lead, but he's got someone in front of him and someone coming over the back. And the ball goes over the back, picked up by Langstaff. He has a snap for goal and it hits the post.
That's the old story. When nothing's going right, it doesn't go right, does it?
Just when you probably needed those first two scoring shots to be good ones. Fish Creek move on to 3-2-20, trailing the Allies 9-12-66 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. 3MFM football 99.
Pavey kicked out and Vardy's got the ball. He runs around Langstaff, handballs.
This is 3MFM football.
Well, the ball's down to the Allies centre
by Peel. Great mark.
He's played well.
He's looking for Garner. It's gone over his head. Fish Creek never took the mark. Now it's been cleared away by Meyer. Meyer kicks the ball long out towards the wing, and it's all Allies out there. And here's Peel again, picks it up, brushes his player aside, and kicks the ball forward over the top of everybody. And here's Heron just waiting for the ball to bounce nicely for him. Now he's going to peel it off back to Anthony McDonald, who just handballed to no one in particular in the end. Bad play by the Allies. He should have taken the shot. There was another pack form. Ran about between centre half forward and full forward for the Allies, the town end of the ground.
It'll be just the luck now for Fish Creek, for the Allies to have their first move forward and make something of it.
They had their opportunities there, and Allies at the moment just fumbling a little bit on their forward line.
Mitchell wins the ball and just handballs it out wide away to him. And it's gone out towards Damien Kerr, who picks it up and kicks it back, centres the ball, but I think it's going to be marked by Mitchell, round about just on the 10-metre square. He's looking for someone out on the show.
Dorlin in the centre, he's got a kick towards, but Dwyer's too tall for him. He should come over the back of the pack, which he does, and takes a nice mark.
That's bad play by Mitchell, kicking it to his own opposition ruckman. Yeah. He passes it off in towards Regan Ryan.
He's played a brilliant game today. I think he's possibly the best on the ground at the moment. He's been in everything, and here he is for an opportunity to kick a goal at a slight angle, about 40 metres out from goal, or even less, Graham.
Yeah, I'd say you'd be 10, you'd be 20 metres out from where the man on the mark is. If they kick this one, this will be a blow to the Fish Creek side, because they've been doing all the attacking until now. Now all of a sudden, Allies get their first fair dinkum shot at it.
And see Hickey for Fish Creek seems to be battling there with a sore shoulder at the moment too. He's been one of the better players of Fish Creek, Graham.
Well, it's a bit of a let-off. It's only a behind, and the Allies move on to 9-13-67, leading Fish Creek 3-2-20 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. 3MFM football.
Here we go. The ball's been kicked out, but it's been
picked up by Peel again.
Peel again. He's having a lot of kicks this quarter. He's starting to have a lot of influence. Oh, geez, this is nearly holding the ball. No, they got away with it. It's been cleared away by
Livingston for Fish Creek.
kicks it back towards the centre, but it's been marked by the Allies again, and very lucky, I think, Mr. Hosking not to get a 50-metre penalty then. It's been marked by, I think it might be Kerr, is it?
McDonald, I think.
Ball's come into their forward line, and there Rendell, who's just come back onto the ground. I think he's been pinned for... The umpire calls play on, and it's been cleared away by Fish Creek towards Graham.
His handball over to Saran,
who fumbles the ball, and now he's under pressure. He handballs to McGannon. McGannon's got no one to kick it to, so he just tries to centre the ball towards centre half forward, and it's all the Allies up there again. And I think you'll find it's a free kick.
McDonald, oh no, it's not McDonald.
Oh, it's Buckley.
Buckley.
That was Buckley. Yeah. He kicks it out towards Damien Kerr this time. Damien Kerr then kicks it out to Roland Shaw, who's getting a lot of kicks out in these wings by himself. And the two players go for the ball and they slip over. Garnham's been quick enough. He's recovered, but he's been forced out of bounds, and there's another throw in on the half-forward flank for the Allies at the town end of the ground.
A few of the Garner's handballs, Graham, have been astray today.
Yeah, he's not as perfect as he normally is he?
Even in general play.
Another throw in, and you got
Rendell and Mitchell go for the ball. It's hit out by Mitchell to a Fish Creek player who just plays the way to anyone, and it's kicked back and marked by Saran at centre half back.
Kicks the ball. Oh.
The ball was overrun by the Allies player and allowed the Fish Creek players in with it. Hoskins got a chance. He kicks the ball down the field further, where the Allies players have fallen over, and Graham's
going to run into an open goal here, I'd say. Oh, he's missed it. You wouldn't believe it, ladies and gentlemen. He had no one within from here, from where we're sitting, to where the ball is.
We have just seen the greatest miss. He was the only player in the 50-metre circle.
That's right. And he's run into an open goal, and he's missed it.
Bouncing the ball and then missed it. Yeah.
Well, that tells the Fish Creek story.
That's basically it, Alan. I think that's just told the Fish Creek story.
Big kick out by Phil Pave. He goes over the back of the pack, and it's gone right to the centre wing, where it's picked up by Jansen. He handballs across to Peel, who's having
Peel now. Peel's just taken the mark.
Yeah. He's been a live wire up in the forward line. He's only a small player, but he's taken some good marks, Graham. He's been in the thick of everything up there.
Oh yeah, he's put his hand up and had a Fendingham dip, which is, you know, good luck to the boy. He got his chance through an injury, and he's taken.
Even though he played very well against Fish Creek up at Devon in the last time they met. He kicks from about 35 metres from goal. Distance will be no problem. The accuracy is there.
I think the way they're all clapping there, I'd say, and it's another behind.
Yeah, it looked like it was Fish Creek players clapping. I think Graham with a let off there.
Well, it's the only bit of fairness Fish Creek.
Well, even the boundary umpires are confused. They thought it was a goal as well. They were going to bring the ball back to the centre. Have we got some confusion down here today?
The only bit of fairness Fish Creek have seen in the last 3.5 minutes. And on the Tifa Tyres scoreboard now, the Allies move on to 9-14-68 to Fish Creek 3-3-21, and this is 3MFM football.
Clark kicked the ball into Harris, who handballed it then to Livingston, who's kicked the ball towards the wing.
And Kerr takes a mark,
but there's nearly dropping the ball, I'd say. Dropping the ball against Regan Ryan.
It's possibly the first mistake he's made all day, Graham.
Hosking has the ball. He's looking for someone up forward, and he's gone for the short pass over to Saran, who then just goes for a kick towards the forward line, and it's just been punched down by the Allies. Graham's got the ball again, and now he's handballed to McGannon, but the ball's now, I'd say, a ball up. No, he's gave a free kick.
McGannon's
very soft, that one.
I'll do all the commenting on McGannon if you don't mind, Keith.
Yes, McGannon goes back and has his kick, and he's kicked it towards the square, and it's up towards Williman's area, but I think the Allies are going to clear away. No, he's scored. Pavey got caught holding the ball right on the goal line.
Picked up by Marty Simons.
But I don't think he's going to pay it. I think you've got to go back and have your kick.
It'll be Harris for Fish Creek to have a shot for goal.
Well, before today's game, with this kick being 10 metres out, you would have said it's absolutely definite, but we now know better.
I think he'll kick this one. It's not Clark, it's Williman who's got the free kick. Well, after his last kick, this could be debatable.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how they picked this one out, but still, it's Williman from about 15 metres out.
He's kicked it straight over the goal umpire's head. And this has kept Fish Creek in it, because the Allies have had a fair bit of the play but can't score goals. Now, you know, you come back, I mean, I know we're still talking something like 6, 7 goals down, but, you know, the Allies just relaxed or...
They seem to reply very easily, though, Graham. I think you'll find the next couple of minutes will sort out if they are messing around with things. They've been not direct enough. Their team play sort of gone a little bit astray at the moment.
And on the T for Tyres scoreboard, it's the Allies 9-14-68 leading Fish Creek 4-3-27.
The ball's been bounced down and has been cleared away from the centre by the Allies, and he kicks the ball. Rendell's running on, and then Heron, well shepherded by Rendell, Heron was. He then tries to change direction back to the centre, but it's all Fish Creek. That's a good mark. Oh,
yeah, Harris.
Harris played on for some reason.
Handball over to Livingston.
They've cleared the ball away, and it's been kicked out towards the wing in front of the basketball stadium, and it's been forced out of bounds. It was kicked out towards Simons, who couldn't get his hands on the ball, and it was forced out of bounds. Another throw in, and we got Mitchell against the wire once more. Mitchell, no, it was taken away by Pavey again. He's got a habit of doing that, and he does well. And
beautiful handball by Ryan across to Olorenshaw. I think he's cleared the pack, and this ball could bounce the wrong side of the goalpost, and it's a point.
And it moves the Allies along to 9-15-69 and leading Fish Creek 4-3-27 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. And this is 3MFM football.
Clark kicks the ball in and towards Doran, and he's fumbled the mark. Geez, he's lucky to get away with that. They're not out of trouble yet, I don't think, Fish Creek, but it's been cleared away in an underground kick, and it's gone well played by Dorling. He's kicked the ball forward.
Across to Langstaff, but Vardy's got to sit on him, punches the ball away. It's good disciplined play.
Look at the pressure they put on him down there. At one stage there, Vardy was outnumbered, but he's just got over the top of him. But the ball's been cleared back towards
Fellows. Fish Creek's taken the mark on the wing.
There's no life on their forward line, though. There's no one for him to kick it to.
Yeah.
As I said,
looking for McGannon, but it fell short of him, and it was a good mark by the McDonald of the Allies in the end. He transfers play across the centre ground, looking for Dwyer. He's pushed out of the pack, picked up by Shaw of Fish Creek. His kick has just gone to anybody, and it's marked by Pavey, who clears
to Kerr, I think it is. Kerr running out towards the clubroom side. He handballs it over to
Regan Ryan again.
Regan Ryan tries to centre the ball towards Heron. But Garnham at the back of the pack kicks another one. There's a difference between the one up the top end and the one down the bottom end, fellas.
And then the Allies move along now to 10 goals on the T for Tyres scoreboard. The Allies are now 10 goals of 15-75 and leading Fish Creek 4-3-27. This is 3MFM football.
We had two Fish Creek players up then, Graham, and Garner just read it a lot better than anyone else. He took the mark at the back of the pack and then just run into an open goal. It was so simple.
They've worked out, I think the last year here he kicked a few goals from playing full forward on this ground, and they've put him back there. The smaller man stays down, the rest
across to Regan Ryan again, and Regan Ryan's absolutely blitzing at the moment. He picked about in the centre ground. He kicks it right down to the goal square for the Allies. Garner nearly got a free kick there, and a pack forms, and I think it'll be a ball up about 20 metres out from the Allies' goal.
Garner used his body well then, but the umpire didn't fall for it. He fell forward as the Fish Creek player made contact, but there wasn't really a free kick there, but he was hoping to get it. Rendell goes up and wins it out, hits it straight down to Garner.
He's shot
Garner's had another goal here. I'd say that's another one. Looking at the goal umpire, old Alfie Wild. Oh, he gives a touch. Must have been called touch by the field umpire, I think.
Touched off the boot. But it moves the Allies along on the T for Tyres scoreboard now to 10 goals, 16-76, leading Fish Creek 4-3-27, 3MFM football.
Clark kicks the ball out here towards the clubroom side, and up goes Vardy, and he misses the punch away completely, but the Allies have got the numbers here to force the ball out of bounds. No, they don't. Someone's tried to kick it back into play, but it's been hit out of bounds.
And smothered by Dorlands, a good smother. Fish Creek had the opportunity there with Livingston, and in the end it was forced out of bounds for a throw-in.
Rendell's going up against Woodside now, so they've changed their tactics at the moment because Mitchell's gone off the ball. I think Mitchell wasn't too bright when he came down just before.
Pavey's got a free kick here. He should have. There's been called play on, and Garner should take.
No, he
should have
hasn't
been
played it
rewarded
again.
to mark. Picked up by Heron. He snaps for goal.
And I think it's out of bounds on the full, the way Alfie Wiles hanging onto his hat.
Yeah. But there's a couple of free kicks there that I think went big and the umpires missed. There was a little bit high on the Allies player and Heron, and I think there should have been a free kick there.
Waiting for Clark to bring the ball back into play. He's looking for someone to kick it to, and I tell you what, it's awfully crowded.
He's changed direction. He's got Dorling over here.
But he wants to take it, otherwise he's in trouble. He's taken the mark, but there's no one up the ground for him to kick to. They've come out to the opposite side of the ground to where all the players had headed. Shorey's in there by himself, and he's kicked it straight over Shorey's head, back towards Heron and the rest of them. It's been picked up by Kerr.
He's got plenty of time to centre the ball.
Oh, Rendell, he likes to take those big ones, but didn't quite hold on to that one.
He's picked up by Hickey. He's caught. He threw the ball out, but he got away with it. It was a bit of a pack starting to form, but it's...
Lillerman playing around with the ball, and he's got away by himself. But he kicked it. No, he hasn't kicked it.
Tracer kissed.
Back to Kerr.
Kick.
Oh, look at this. Straight over to...
Handball over to Pavey. Pavey drives it along. It's going to clear the pack, and there's another goal.
I think it could be another goal.
That was from about 50 metres out. That was a top kick, that was.
I tell you what, boys, this could be it. I think the way Vardy's ran back to the centre and the ball ran back, and he's turned round the ball, and I think he said a few things to them. I think they're ready to now start putting a foot down.
On the T for Tyres scoreboard, the Allies are 11-16. That's 82 now, isn't it? Leading the Fish Creek 4-3.
84.
84, is it? Leading Fish Creek.
82, boys.
4-3-27. And Graham Laird's made the statement of the day. This could be it.
Well, I've made the statement because I just got the feeling and looking at the Allies, the way they went back after that goal of Pavey's, they were going to get a bit, let's get going, boys. The game's nearly...
Harris Fish Creek has got a free kick. He kicks along looking for Graham. He's gone out of the play a little bit at the moment. Lithgow punches the ball. Disciplined football again by the Allies backman. He kicks it back to the centre where it's marked by Harris of Fish Creek. He kicks short. He finds Marty Simons on the wing. He drives it long looking for Langstaff and Vuleman, but over the back comes Vardy. He punches the ball to the ground, and there's a pack starting to form, and there'll be a ball up called by the umpire, Clements.
I think
we're almost at the stage, of course, where even if the Allies become complacent, they're still going to win it by default. But they won't become complacent.
That time clock over there is wrong, so don't go by the time on that clock, fellas, by the way. The ball's been sharked by Nick Shaw, who kicks it straight out wide to nobody in particular, and it's been picked up by our mate again. Lithgow just clear to the way, as normal. Doesn't kick them hard, he just kicks them, makes them run along the ground and out. Oh, that's gone out of bounds, this one.
So it's out of bounds on the full, on the wing for over the grandstand side, and it's a little bit hard to pick up players over there, but it looks like Simons, he kicks in towards Vuleman, but a big punch from over the back by Vardy. It's disciplined football again, and the Allies...
oh no, it's a free kick, I think, to find a Fish Creek.
Yeah, it was given away by...
Matty Simons gets a free kick,
short
and he passes it in to McGannon. No, it's not, it's Nick Shaw, I think. Yep, be Nick Shaw.
He's a player that Fish Creek would be hoping to lift his game to get them back into it.
He's been very quiet today. But then again, I saw he's got a few mates out there, I think, as well.
As the aim of the game has got to be for Fish Creek now to go for respectability, hasn't it?
Oh, I think they just got to don't give up. That's, I suppose.
He kicks from about 45 metres out. And
I think he's missed it. I don't think it's going to get the distance. It's been punched away by the Allies and it's gone out of bounds. In the forward pocket on the scoreboard side of the ground, up at the cell yards end of the ground.
And on that T for Tyres scoreboard, the Allies are 11-16-82, leading Fish Creek 4-3-27, 3MFM football.
Another throw in here, and it's Mitchell against, and Pavey comes over the top again. How they haven't woken up that Pavey's doing this all day is, there's not much thought gone into watching what he does.
But if Pavey's not doing it, Garner's doing it, Graham, and their Ruck Rovers are doing it. They've done it all day, and big hit outs towards their own players.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they're not blocking him from doing it.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. And boundary throw in opposite the scoreboard. Mitchell again with Dwyer. Mitchell.
No, I think it was Vuleman against Dwyer this time, and Lithgow just forces the ball out of bounds once more.
He's desperate when he goes for the ball. Every time his body's to the ball, He's an ideal backman. He's a person who, if he doesn't get the ball, he's running off for the handball, and he's been great for the Allies.
McGannon wins the hit out and just hits it towards their forward pocket. It's been kicked off the ground by, and now Nick Mitchell's got the ball, and I think he might have pinched one. No, it hasn't. It's hit the post. Another point for Fish Creek. They just can't take a trick at the moment. Everything they try is just not working for them.
They move their score along on the T for Tyres scoreboard to 4-4-27. Fish Creek trailing the Allies 11-16-82.
Kicked in by Vardy. Look at this, straight out to
Pavey,
straight out.
Regan Ryan again.
To
His
Ewan.
pass to Ewan. Heron. He takes a mark on the wing for the Allies. Holding the play up a little bit. He should have got it moving because Fish Creek have had time now to crowd the forward line a bit.
And the boundary umpire fell over.
He kicks the ball in towards the full forward sign. It's all Fish Creek at the moment up there, and it's a good mark taken by Livingston. He kicks the ball out wide towards
Matty Simons. He takes it on the chest. He should have played on, but he stopped. He slowed the game down. He had Fish Creek players running loose. They can't afford to slow it down now. They've got to move the ball.
He just kicks the ball up in the air to anyone, I think, at the moment. He's looking for McGannon. That's a good grab by McGannon. Ran about the centre of the ground. He tries to change direction over towards Fellows. Fellows kicks the ball back towards Graham on the other half-forward flank, and that's a good mark by Graham. He's calling for someone to run up, but he's kicked it out towards Harris, I think it is, and Harris has taken the mark in the other forward pocket up at the sale yards end on the clubroom side of the ground.
And for 30 seconds, Fish Creek have looked like a championship side.
And the crowd was calling for 50 then, but I don't think there was any 50 in it. The crowd's gone very quiet at the moment.
Mainly because we're located closest to the Fish Creek crowd. Which is where we usually like to be, isn't it, Keith?
Well, you two blokes would. You got all your mates there.
Yeah. A little bit different voice this week, though.
Here he goes for his shot, and I think he might have kicked this one, young Clark. Harris, I meant. Yep, Harris has kicked the goal for Fish Creek. That brings them back into the game, I suppose, if you want to be a little bit of an optimist.
Yes, well, Fish Creek move on to 5-4-34, trailing the Allies 11-16-82. T for Tyres scoreboard on 3M FM football.
And they got...
Foregone conclusion there, it looks like. But
Yeah,
Graham's more interested in the foregone conclusion at the MCG.
Yeah, don't tell him no more scores until the final one. Here we go for another centre bounce. Willerman against Dwyer. No one really won the hit out.
Jansen was held when he didn't have the ball, but Simons has forced the ball towards the boundary line, but it's picked up by McDonald of the Allies. He runs around his player. He centres the ball towards Dwyer and Willerman. Willerman gets in a better position.
Good grab by Willerman.
And he takes the mark.
Vuleman's amount of action in this third quarter even begs the question further, where was he in the first half?
Well, that's what we did ask.
Yep.
Good grab.
Allies player there, right over the top of the pack.
It's McDonald again, isn't it, I think? And he kicks it into
Regan Ryan.
Who's, geez, he's paid the mark. Ooh. He could be lucky for that one, boys. Regan Ryan then now plays around the mark, kicks it towards Rendale. And Heron just can't take a grab at the moment. He took a couple earlier,
he's
but
getting his hands under the ball and doing
holding
nothing.
onto it. Cleared away by Fish Creek towards the wing, towards Graham. Graham picks the ball. Oh, he left it alone.
Yeah.
He left it behind again.
Picked up by Buckley. His handball across to Pavey. He handballs again towards Regan Ryan, who overruns the ball.
I think he got messed up by his own fella in Vardy, I think.
And it's going to be a ball up in the centre square.
We just saw a case of Graham overrun the ball and then an Allies player do the same. There's no excuse in conditions like this, is there?
No, there goes the siren for three-quarter time.
Well, at three-quarter time, the Allies are 11-16-82, leading Fish Creek 5-4-34. I think what we might do is just take a very quick summary from the boys now before all of the noise starts here, before we have our three-quarter time break. Well, really no change in what you said at half-time, is there?
Well, 27 scoring shots to 9, Alan, just about sums it right up. Just the inaccuracy for goal has otherwise it would have been a boil over, I think, by half-time.
They both scored the same that quarter, which just shows you that I think the sting's gone right out of the game now, fellas. I think both sides are just going to go through the motions, and which is not good for a grand final when it's you know, looking at it, they both kicked 2-4 this quarter. Well, as I said earlier in that broadcast, the crowd's gone quiet. I think everyone knows the game's over, and everyone's just hanging around now to wait to see what happens after the game.
But there's still a little wording of, you know, a little bit of determination, a little bit of pride, and I think that's still got to come into the game regardless of what goes on.
From Fish Creek's point of view?
Fish Creek's point of view. They've got players who have been down all day, and they've got to have a little bit of pride in their game and show, well, look, we might be beaten for 3 quarters, but let's, you know, give it a fair dink and go for 1 quarter.
All right, well, all of that would probably, I mean, if they were going to show anything, it would just be in the first 5 minutes. If we see nothing there, it's status quo.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, and with the Allies side, Graham, much the same players are still playing top football. Wron, in my opinion, has been the best player on the ground. He's done everything right. He's got plenty of support there. Their back line's been disciplined. Their forward line a little bit scrappy to what they normally are.
That's right, Herring just can't take a mark at the moment.
He gets his hands to the ball and they're just not sticking. But
I think
okay,
it'll just be a 1-horse race, I think.
Yeah, looks like it. That's the way it is at 3/4 time. The Allies 11-16-82, leading Fish Creek 5-4-34 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. And this is 3M FM football. The game's underway in the final quarter.
And Jansen drives the ball straight up to the forward line. Garner gets one in the back. There's no free kick given there, and it's picked up by the ball pole. It kicks across it. His kick goes astray, and it's marked in the last line of defence by Meyer for Fish Creek. He short pass across to Dorland, who's on the half-back flank for Fish Creek. No movement up the ground for him, so he's got to wait. Kicks long to no one in particular, and there's a good mark for Kerr. Jansen again.
Jansen again.
Yeah, for the Allies right in the centre of the ground. He's got Brad Wyatt centre half forward by himself. He sees him.
No, it's gone over his head and been punched away, and it's been picked up by, I think, Matty Simons, who clears the ball out towards the wing, but it's gone straight out to
Kerr again.
Kerr will drive it straight back in, and I think Garnham had his hands on it, but they come over
Peel
the back.
sharks a pack. He crumbs it brilliantly. Regan Ryan
kicked it off the ground.
Run into an open goal. Handball was a little bit astray, but the bounce was good, and he kicked it off the ground for a goal.
On the T for Tyres scoreboard, the Allies 12-16-88 are leading Fish Creek 5-4-34. I suppose the thing we could hope for in this last quarter, now that the game is a foregone conclusion, is that either the Allies put on a bit of an exhibition or Fish Creek come back and make it slightly interesting.
Well, you'd want something to happen, wouldn't you, I think, because otherwise the people will start going home, and if they start looking around the fence now, they're all starting to walk out to get an early run out of the crowd.
We might mention on that point there was a gate in excess of 16,000 today, so it's been a terrific crowd.
Well, I wasn't far wrong when I told you, blokes, when I got here it had to be close to 15 at that stage, so it's not a bad effort. I reckon it's a good... it's been... ball's been forced out of the centre, and it's just been another pack form on around about the...
There was a brilliant tackle by Vardy there. The Fish Creek guy had a good run.
Vuleman and Dwyer go for it. Dwyer grabbed the ball out of the pack and kicks it. It's been picked up by Harrison, and he blazes away, and I think he may have picked one. No, he hasn't.
They're 1 point, just a little bit offline there, Graham.
Just as he kicked it, he got knocked off balance, so I think it didn't help him at all.
5-5-35 Fish Creek to the Allies 12-16-88 on the T for Tyres scoreboard.
Ball's been kicked out by the Allies straight out towards
Jansen. That's his third kick in the first 3 or 4 minutes.
Rendell's been forced out of his hand towards the boundary, and will go out of bounds.
A little bit of feeling coming into it over on the other side of the ground there, Graham.
Well, I suppose they're trying to put something back into it.
Dwyer and Vuleman go up in the ruck. Hit out by Vuleman. McGannon punches the ball away. The Fish Creek player slips as he takes control of the ball. Handball by the Allies. There's a good handball across to Buckley. He kicks long up to Garner.
Great mark by Garner.
He's at the 50 metres. He tries to get around the player.
And I think he's going to get it round the neck.
Yes.
He's tried to beat him, and he got a free kick.
There's a good tackle by Fellows, and Garner was just experienced enough to get his neck sort of under his arm. Garner's got the ball. He gets the lead from Pavey, and it's a beautiful kick, and Pavey takes it on his chest about 25 metres out from goal on a slight angle.
This is one that Fish Creek don't want. As we said, they want respectability. If they let the Allies start running now, this could be what a lot of people have said for weeks now, that they'd run over the top of anyone. So, but I still think that the last 2 weeks of games Fish Creek have are going to take their toll on them. And I think it's happened. They're running out of legs.
Here's Pavey from about 25 metres out on the wrong side for a left footer, but it's a lovely shot for goal, and it's straight through the centre.
And that moves the Allies on to 13-16-94, leading Fish Creek 5-5-35 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. T for Tyres, Currumborough and Wonthaggi, where there's some sort of an adding up of all the experience of the staff, and if you add all the staff's experience, you get to about 22 years, and then we add you on and it gets to about 70 years.
Oh,
Is that
gee,
right?
yeah, not too harsh, Graham.
But there's a lot of experience.
Yes. Another centre bounce up here, and
Vuillemin and Mitchell, Vuillemin and Dwyer, and it's been just hit
across to
down the
Regan Ryan. He gets one too high and he takes another kick. He's and it's play on, but the ball's been brought back to Regan Ryan, the centre, who's got to go back for his kick.
Pavey tried to play on, but they cut him out of doing that.
And Brad Dwyer having a rest for the Allies. He's played a good game for the Allies. He's been in everything, and looks like they're just going to start to give everyone a run. Kyron Rendell's onto the field for them.
Been off and on all day, to be honest with you.
Pavey's kick's a little bit too long, but it's sharked by the Allies player in Thompson. His handball across to Rendell, and he's pushed as he kicks towards goal, and it's offline for a point.
Moving the Allies on to 13-17-95, leading Fish Creek 5-5-35 on the T for Tyres scoreboard, so that's exactly the 10-goal lead to the Allies now. Or a 60-point lead anyway.
Kicked out by Clark again towards, it's a good kick out this time, straight out towards, oh, it's a good mark being taken by, I think it might be Livingston out there. He's kicking the ball back towards centre half forward to McGannon, who's ran about at the centre at the moment. He grabs the ball and just handballs it to no one because he was under pressure. And now there's been a free kick picked out of it going towards Harris.
Hickey.
Oh, it's Hickey.
Hickey plays on.
Gives it to Vuillemin, and then delivers the ball nicely, very nicely, to Rendell. Rendell now passes the ball out towards Kerr. Kerr is going around the stadium side of the ground, and Fish Creek just stopped there then, and Lithgow just grabs the ball and kicks it towards the wing. It's been sharked away from the pack, and his handball out in front of Harris. He's got to pick it up. There's no one within sight of him, so he nearly got caught. Now he just kicks the ball up in the air.
And here's Phil Pavey with the sit. He didn't quite hang on to it. Across to Livingston. He's got an open goal to run into.
He's going to give it. Oh, he's paid the 50. He's called it deliberate. Well, if it's deliberate, isn't he supposed to be reported?
You should imagine so, but that's the first 50 that's been given all day. Maybe they're just trying to make it a little bit more respectable for the Fish Creek side. But unfortunately, I think it's too late to get it very respectable now. It's Langstaff for Fish Creek, and from 10 metres out had no problem in kicking a goal.
And that takes Fish Creek on to 6-5-41, trailing the Allies 13-17-95 on the T for Tyres scoreboard at 3MFM football. And Graham was waiting for a score from the MCG. We'll have that next time round for you.
We'll sack that bloke back in the studio if he doesn't put it on next time.
And if the West Coast Eagles hit the front in that game, we don't want any scores.
No, we don't want it. That's right.
No news is good news, Graham. Another centre bounce here.
We've got Rendell up against Vuillemin this time. They've done this a couple of times.
With Brad Dwyer coming off Rendell.
He's going to take the ruck work. And he's won a couple earlier on. He gets up pretty high, but he didn't get up to that one. It's been taken away from the centre by Fish Creek, but they're under pressure again.
Livingston's handball was a little bit astray, but Fish Creek got out of trouble. Graham, he's got an opportunity.
Another one,
and he's been well held today. And Hickey picks up the ball from the ball nicely.
Fish Creek era coming back. Allies are going crook about no free kick, but it's too late now.
And the Fish Creek move their score along now to 7-5-47, trailing the Allies 13-17-95 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. 3MFM football.
Well,
yes, that bloke back in the studio definitely keeps his job. The fact that he decides who has him, the hirer and firer, but don't worry about it.
Well, we're waiting for the ball to come back into the centre, and that's a good effort by Fish Creek. They've kicked the last two, and
in the last couple of minutes, it's
got
a little bit of life back to the Fish Creek supporters. I thought they might have all gone home by now, but there's a couple still cheering.
We're 8 goals of difference. There's a chance yet if you're an optimist or a pessimist, one or the other. But here's another chance coming up here. McGann has taken the ball off the centre when they've hit it out.
And
he's kicked it up towards Nick Mitchell, but it's been punched away from him. It's been thumbed by Hosking, and Hosking's kicked another one. That's 3 they've kicked in 3 minutes.
And the score on the T for Tyres scoreboard now has the Allies 13-17-95, leading Fish Creek 8-5-53. Is it a little spot of excitement, but just too late?
Well, possibly too late, but I think really the Allies got to start thinking bringing Dwyer back onto the ground.
Yeah, I think what's happening, they're getting the ball out of the centre now with Williman in the centre against Rendell, and he's a bit too big for Rendell, and the blokes around the pack are taking first use of the ball. Here he goes up again, he hits the ball out wide towards nobody in particular. There's another pack being formed. There's been
Jansen and the Allies threw the ball out.
Oh, another throw out then, but it doesn't matter. It's been cleared out towards full forward for Fish Creek, and Mitchell goes up.
Langsdorff crumbed the ball nicely, and handballs across to Mitchell. Mitchell from centre half forward
around and kicks it over his head. And it's been put through from behind by Lithgow.
There was defensive football. He done the right thing. They need to slow it down now, get control of the ball, and just at the moment, while Fish Creek's got a run, you'd imagine that they'd start to bring Dwyer back on a little bit taller.
I think the Allies have got a bit of a problem. I think their runner's even broken down, fellas. The ball's been kicked out towards Rendell, and it's been punched away from him, and it's been picked up. Oh, they're throwing the ball now. Geez, the umpires are getting very technical now. Jansen threw the ball according to the umpire. Ball's been kicked by Fish Creek in towards Mitchell, but Marty just cut it off. Pavey, I'm sorry.
The difficulty being, of course, with 15 minutes to go, there's still no way there's 7 goals in Fish Creek.
You wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so, but then again, the Allies have got to make sure they don't, they've had control of this game all day, and if all of a sudden, if it comes back to only about an 8-point or a 2-goal difference, people start saying that Fish Creek, weren't out of the game.
That's a good mark by Vuleman again. He's held his mark since he's come onto the ground, and I thought it was probably the wrong option by Pavey then, kicking to a guy that's too tall.
Towards Nick Mitchell, and he's going up with one arm. It's twice he's gone up. I mean,
the Allies player was a little bit unfortunate there. He was rode into the ground, so he really should have received a free kick.
Dwyer back on for the Allies and Rendell off.
Yes, they made the move we said. I thought,
Yeah, they couldn't leave that for too long. The game's not over yet. They can't afford to take off their taller players. They're not tall enough.
The umpire's letting the game go now. There's another pack being formed, and it's round about between centre half forward and full forward for Fish Creek at the town end of the ground. McNamara puts the ball down, and it's Dwyer now. Vuleman was in front of him, and some people will be calling for a shepherd, but Mick Mitchell, he's gone up this time with one hand, and umpire hasn't paid the mark.
Ooh.
Oh, geez, from where I was standing, I thought it was a mark.
It's going to ball the ball up. Ball up in about 10 metres out, 5 metres out of the
hear why the Fish Creek are booing, and I must think I agree from where we're sitting. I thought it was a mark.
Yeah, it was punched through by Dwyer, which is defensive football, and as I said before, the Allies have got to take control of this and slow it down, start moving the ball around, making sure of their disposal and everything.
And that behind takes Fish Creek on to 8-7-55, trailing the Allies 13-17-95, a 40-point ball game at around the 15-minute mark of the final quarter on the T for Tyres scoreboard.
Peel grabbed the ball from the kick
third
out.
Bounce. He's got a short pass over the head of the Fish Creek player. Heron takes the mark. He's about 55 metres out from goal. He kicks long. It's dropping short, but it was McGannon who drops back into full-back position for Fish Creek to take the mark. He quickly plays on and kicks out towards the wing where a Fish Creek player in Harris picked up the ball. His handball across to his teammate is smothered, and Langstaff finally lost control and the ball was forced over for a boundary throw in by Kerr. It's the first time for the last 10 minutes, I would say, that the Allies have had the ball up their forward line.
Yeah, they've been struggling this quarter to get it up there, and that's due credit to
Bullman's
Fish Creek.
doing a good job in the...
I think that's the difference. He's got on top in the centre. The ball's been kicked in towards Livingston, round about the true centre half forward position on this ground. He kicks the ball forward looking for Nick Mitchell. Vardy knocked it around, and then he lost track of where the ball had gone. Another handball out by the Allies, and it should have been a free kick being parked out. Oh, he's gone the other way.
It's not the square off from 5 minutes ago, is it?
Geez, I was only going to say it should have been a free kick to the Allies, but he's picked it out and gave it to Graham.
He's been very quiet, Graham, again. He got into the play for a little while in the end of the first quarter, but he's hardly had much influence on this game at all, Graham.
No, he hasn't really. It's, I think a lot of people are expecting him to be one of their, better players all day long. But he's kicked the goal anyhow, so that brings them back to making the score look very presentable, to be honest.
Well, it brings it back to a 34-point difference on the T for Tyres scoreboard. The Allies are 13-17-95, leading Fish Creek 9-7-61, and this is 3MFM football.
Yeah, it's they're outscored the Allies this quarter now. I was thinking that maybe the Fish Creek's legs had run out of steam, but they're finishing all over the top of the Allies at the moment.
They had a big season, though, the Fish Creek, big pre-season training, so that must hold them in good stead by the end of this game, Graham.
But as I was saying, you'd think they'd be a bit tired, but they've lifted, and the Allies are the ones who are struggling to do anything with the ball. Lucky the Allies had this 8 or 10 goal lead, to be honest. Otherwise it could have been a different story.
Yeah, Regan Ryan takes the ball from the centre, and his kick goes across to his teammate, who drives along looking for Garner, who takes a safe mark about 55 metres out from goal. He should play on quickly. Had Ryan again by himself there, but he's been covered, and Garner's going back to drive the ball long into their goal line. I think the distance is just a problem there. He comes back, he kicks.
Yeah, it is a big problem, I think.
It's a beautiful kick.
Yeah, it is a problem. It's gone right over the top of the pack for another good goal by Garnham.
From 55 metres out, and has cleared the pack without any problems.
Not really there was any great danger, but it's sort of the steadier for the Allies. They move on to 14-17-101, leading Fish Creek 9-7-61 on the T for Tyres scoreboard, and this is 3MFM football. Graham leads off to watch Essendon go down next Saturday.
There's Dwyer, he gets it out from the centre, and it's just been lacking in the last 10 minutes or so, and with him back on the ground has made a big difference.
Yeah, they're starting to take control again, I think.
Peel lost control of the ball, picked up by the Fish Creek players, and there's a pack form, and I'm sure he'll have to be a ball up here in a minute. And
you wouldn't know, the umpire could pick a free kick out.
Well, he seemed to be picking out free kicks here just over the last 5 or 10 minutes rather than ball up, and it's confusing some of the players here.
You would have to think with this bit of a last quarter comeback by Fish Creek, they would be ruining their second quarter, wouldn't you? The one goal quarter.
Yeah. Well, that's right. He'll pay this one over to... he hasn't.
There's a good...
It's a good tackle, but I thought it might have been a bit high early.
He's been a player who's played a great game, and that's a good pass. He kicked it into...
I think it's Rendell, isn't it? No, it's Rendell.
Oh, Rendell, sorry. Yes, it's Justin Rendell. I don't think he's kicked the goal today, Graham.
No, I don't think he has.
Yeah, and being their leading goal kicker, he should... manage to have no problems with this from about 45 metres out.
Here he goes in, he kicks it. I think it's gone offline. Yep, it's offline for a behind to the Allies. They're kicking towards the Sale yard end.
For a side that hasn't had a lot of pressure on them, a score of 14-18-102 as against 9-7-61 is not all that flash.
Clark goes for a short kick into, I think it was Dorling in the the back pocket. He comes out towards the wing on the clubroom side, and that's a good mark by, I think,
Fellows.
Fellows, isn't it? It looks like he might be in a bit of trouble, though. I think
Dwyer from the Allies was unfortunate then, Graham. He was pushed out. He didn't even get an opportunity to get into the play.
Fellows has had his knee. I hope it's not his knee, because he has got his knee strapped. And it looks like it could be his knee again.
He's not taking the kick.
It's a blow to a young fellow at this time of the game. It's the last thing you want to happen in, with what.
But why would you try to carry him off? You'd be better off going straight over the boundary line.
Or call on the stretcher and holding the game up. It's not going to do any harm.
And meanwhile, the play goes on, and it's all Allies at the moment, and the umpires seem
Garner's given away a free kick to Clark, I think, who's come down the ground. Clark kicks the ball towards centre-half forward, over the top of McGannon's head in towards Graham, and that's a good mark by Graham.
Yeah. Even the umpire's having problems running too at the moment, I think, Graham.
You're not talking about, was that the bloke you were talking about earlier this morning on the footy show, or was it a different one?
No, the injury query?
Yeah, that was the injury query.
Oh, that's him, was it? Well, he's lasted the game, Keith, so I suppose that's a start.
He hasn't done much running, no?
Well, he never does. What's the difference? That's why they put the other bloke with him.
Bang goes Miss Sale of some of their grand final tapes now.
Yeah. Here's Graham from about 45 metres out. He shouldn't have any problems with this.
He's not going to get the distance. I think he's even missed it.
No, he's got the distance, and
I think it's only behind, Lope.
Yes.
What might have meant a much-needed goal for a little bit of pride for Fish Creek. They move on to 9-8-62, trailing the Allies 14-18-102 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. 3MFM football.
Pavey kicked the ball out to
Kerr. He found Kerr by himself there.
And he goes a short pass into Garnham, who's now looks like he's come back on the ball.
Yes, they have plenty of...
They're holding the game up. They're not even in no hurry at the moment. They're just going to chip it away until they can find someone to kick it to.
They have plenty of options, just bringing Garner onto the ball.
There's Willem again's taken another mark.
Yes, we start to wonder. The first
it makes you really wonder what the story was going on. The ball comes out to in front of the clubroom side. It's been knocked forward by
Marty Simons,
who kicks the ball forward. But it's no one there to kick it to him. It's going to be forced out of bounds, I'd say.
No,
he's
Pavey's
held it in, and he's beaten three of them here.
And his handball.
Buckley's missed it.
And his handball to
Graham, who's now knocked the ball out of bounds.
He messed that up, the Allies player.
Yeah, I was right about the Allies runner breaking down, boys. They've brought a new young bloke on.
Stephen Brown from the Allies in trouble.
There's Dwyer, gets a good hit out, picked up by McGannon. He swings back towards the centre. His handball goes to no one in particular. Picked up by Hickey of Fish Creek.
Oh, geez, that was dangerous by
he centres the ball nicely, but it was punched away. Disciplined football by Vardy. He punched to Jansen, who kicks it across now to Lithgow. He's got no one in front of him. Drives it along towards Meyer, and Heron has picked it up for Allies. His handball goes astray. Goes to the Fish Creek player in Langstaff. He finds Graham by himself, who takes the mark about 45 metres out from goal.
He should kick this one.
Just missed one there a few minutes ago, so...
50 metres, they ran through the mark. The Allies player, and I hate to say it, I think it might have been Vardy that's ran. Adam Vardy, or Kerr. No, it's Adam Vardy that ran through the mark.
We had no problems with that one.
And it's another one to Fish Creek, and on the T for Tyres scoreboard now, the Allies are 14-18-102, leading Fish Creek 10-8-68, and when anybody reads this in the Sunday paper, if they get it into the Sunday paper, I might add, it now looks as if it was a reasonable game of football.
Yes, there's been a little bit of pride, and it's a lot better quarter by the Fish Creek players in the last quarter here.
We're at the 25 minutes, close on the 25 minutes of the last quarter.
What have we had? Five goals scored, so there could be a bit of time.
Oh, there'll be a bit of time on. You'll go close to 30 minutes this quarter. So there's plenty of time yet. Like, all due respects, they're on top at the moment. The ball's been cleared out by
Clark. Cross towards Seren, but he's beaten by the Allies player in Kerr, and he handballs the ball in front of himself. He's still got control of it. Handballs over the Fish Creek player.
Oh, geez, another muck up by the Allies. I think the Allies are trying to get too pretty.
Yeah, Wron had an opportunity then to get around the player, and his handball went a little bit astray, and he's fortunate enough to find Jansen, who end up with is Jansen. It's a little bit hard to see here in the sun, but the Allies have got a kick for goal about 55 metres out from goal.
Right in front of the scoreboard he is, so I think he's just going to blaze it away and try and centre it. If he's got any sense, that's where he's going to put it.
It's a nice big kick. We've got Vuleman in the pack there.
Rendell's taking a mark, I think, right in front. Or is it Garner?
Garner
again.
He reads the ball beautifully, doesn't he? He was given away inches there and still was able to take the mark in front of the taller Fish Creek players. Here he is from about 15 metres out from goal. He'll have no problems with this one.
That's another one to the Allies, and that'll makes the gap a lot bigger again. Now.
And the Allies move on to 15-8, 108, leading the Fish Creek side 10-8, 68 on the T for Tyres scoreboard. And I've just realised I missed an opportunity. I should have got on to Peter Williams at Matton's True Value Hardware in Yarram and said, what about a percentage off for the number of points the Allies have win by? Because we could have been up to 40% off on Monday on some specials.
Yeah, I'm sure Peter will be giving away anything on Monday if you talk to him nicely. Yeah. I'm sure he'll miss the bus home tonight too from the Woodside Hall.
Another ball up, and it's Dwyer against Wuleman. Dwyer wins that one. He hits it out, and Garnham hits it forward. And he's trying to force the ball forward, and maybe a bit stiff not to get a free kick there. But the umpires will let it go a little bit all day, which has been good umpiring, I think.
Wavy handballs out. And
there's another free kick to Shaw, I'd say. Oh, he's called play on now, and they break it away, kicked it back towards centre, and Lithgow takes. That's the best mark we've seen all day, I'd say. Even the crowd's clapping. And he's kicked the ball back out to Kerr out in the wing. Now he takes it out to maybe Nilla, the best man on the ground, Regan Ryan. Now he's looking up forward for Heron, who's finally taken one. And geez, there's another bloke down over there, and he doesn't look too good either. I think it's Wuleman.
I might just mention, gentlemen,
that's a good kick for goal.
Forward, and it's been punched through by Fish Creek.
I might just mention at this stage also that there's a very professional video being made of today's game, and we'll get details if anybody would like to obtain a copy of that video after the game. We'll get details here at 3MFM for you, and it'll have this commentary on it.
It's been kicked forward and and Nick Mitchell's picked the ball up, and he just turned around. He had no option except to turn around on his left and kick it. It's been picked up by Keenan Rendell.
Byron Rendell takes a mark on his chest.
He kicked it straight back to Mitchell. No, he hasn't. Garner's chipped in front of him.
And Garner's starting to play well now, Graham.
Yeah, I think the sting's gone out. He's getting kicks. Mitchell's just about off on his feet. I think he's done a good job all day, and I think
Garner centres the ball across to Jansen, who takes an easy mark.
About 25 minutes. 25-minute mark of the last quarter. He kicks it up towards the centre half forward mark. It's been picked up by Dorling. He just kicks it out towards the boundary to clear it, and it goes out of bounds. In front of the scoreboard,
which is the T for Tyres scoreboard, and reads the Allies 15-19, 109, leading Fish Creek 10-8, 68. This is 3MFM football.
Another throw in. It's been won by Mitchell.
Meyer gets around the Allies player. He kicks down towards the wing where Langstaff for Fish Creek takes a mark. He quickly plays on, but there...
Keenan. No, he's missed the ball. Keenan Rendell, I just about said he had it, and it could be... there's no free kick again.
As Harris has got the ball, he kicks towards Graham, and Graham takes a mark.
He plays on.
Handball's over to, looks like...
Hoskins
running into an open goal.
And he's kicked it out of bounds on... No, he hasn't. He kicked a point. I thought he kicked it out of bounds on the full then, but it just sneaked in for a point.
Which moves Fish Creek on to 10-9, 69, trailing the Allies 15-19, 109 on the T for Tyres scoreboard.
Neil Vardy kicked the ball back in, and I think it's
Walpole who takes a mark just on the centre half back line for the Allies. His kick is a good pass. He finds Jansen further up the field. The Allies players having a little bit of trouble looking into the sun here. A long kick, and it's all Fish Creek here. There's about 4 players at the back of the pack, but once they get it, they've got no one to kick to, and Walpole takes another safe mark on the half-back flank for the Allies.
I think the Allies might have put a couple of extra blokes on their back line, to be honest. That's why I think when they get it up their forward line, there's no one there. Another short pass by them, and it's been cut off by
Harris. Fish Creek. It was a bad pass. Regan Ryan was there by himself but didn't hit him.
Harris kicks it to Shaw. Shaw plays around and kicks it towards McGannon, who is covered by about 25 Allies players, picked up by Adam Vardy.
His handball across the wall pole. He takes it and kicks it down towards the wing where Jansen goes over the top of the pack to punch the ball out of bounds.
And I don't think Mr. McGannon looks too good laying on the ground down there, fellas. I think it's McGannon on his back.
He was right in the middle of that pack.
He's in the middle of that pack and got crunched. I didn't mean there was anything in it. He was just underneath about 20 players that fell on top of him.
Yeah.
The sting's gone right out of the game now. We're just playing out time, basically, and that's all that's going to happen.
A few minutes to go here, and it's all Allies.
I think you've got about 2 minutes to go.
And the sun is shining at Foster and conditions are still perfect, and the crowd is hung in there mostly, I think, just to see what the Allies could give in the way of an exhibition of football, if nothing else.
The umpire is battling there to run.
Barry McGannon's playing on.
Oh, well, he's a tough man, there's no doubt about that. I think he just got winded. I don't think he was badly hurt. He was just took the sting out of him for a while. Here's Clark, kicks the ball out towards Wooleman, who Wooleman's been grabbed, but it should have been a free kick, and the umpire has seen it. He pulled his hand down. So, I think
a little bit of undisciplined play by Neil Vardy.
I think he's...
And you've just got no idea why Wooleman hasn't played a whole game.
No, you start to wonder.
Well, he's run this half out all right, so I couldn't see why he couldn't have run the whole game out.
His kicking's just a little bit astray there, and it goes through for a point.
Run through for a point.
So that moves Fish Creek on to 10-10-70, trailing the Allies 15-19, 109, and we'd have to be within 1 or 2 minutes of the siren.
There's Pavey kicking off for the Allies. He's kicked straight down the centre of the ground.
Gannon takes a punch away from the pack.
Picked up by Marty Simons. He drives the ball back into centre half. Wooleman was
playing for a free kick, and then Graham gets the ball, handballs it to Simons. Simons got the ball and caught with the ball.
A few of the Allies players here showing a little bit of frustration towards the umpires, but I think the umpires have missed a few free kicks here that could have quite easily gone the Allies' way. And we bounce up there, and the Allies get it. Handball out to Vardy. He plays it around the boundary line, and he finds his teammate in Welshpool, kicks along up the peel,
good
and he takes a nice mark, and
he throws the ball up in the air and says, "I don't want it."
And there it is, the siren for the 1999 Grand Final in the Alberton Football League. Final score is the Allies 15-19, 109, defeating Fish Creek 10-10-70, so that's back-to-back Grand Finals for the Allies. Now what we might just do is, if there's any updates on scores from the studio, take those, and then we'll go straight into our final summary here so we can beat the public address system with the presentations. Have you got any update scores for us, David? Okay, so Moe into the grand final against Traralgon next Saturday in the Gippsland Latrobe Football League. We'll be keeping you up to date with that one on 3MFM. And next Saturday, Graham led off to the MCG to see the Blues take on the Bombers. Well, gentlemen, the score was the way it was expected here at the Foster Oval this afternoon, with the Allies winning it in a situation where it looked like it was going to be an absolute cakewalk. Then Fish Creek put a little bit back into it, but in the long run, it never looked as if the Allies wouldn't go on with it. Keith.
Well, that's right, but Fish Creek the last quarter has been a great fight back, really, and 39 points for 6 goals that the Allies end up winning by. But when you look at the scoreboard, the Allies wasted the ball for the second and third quarters. I think their kicking for goal, they just blazed away there, and unfortunately they didn't have the score on the board which they really should have, and 34 scoring shots to 20 is nearly double the scoring shots, and they just didn't make use of the ball which they should have, and their kicking for goal, or just blazing away rather than their direct kicking for goal, it let them down for a little bit, but no one can hold anything against them. They've been the top side during the season, they're the top side on the day, and But all credit to Fish Creek. Everyone thought the game was over at three-quarter time, 10 goals down, and then to outscore the Allies to come within 6 goals. So they've outscored them by about 4 goals in the last quarter. It's been a little bit of pride shown by the Fish Creek players, and a top effort by the Allies overall.
All right, best players. Sorry, Grant.
I think it was a top effort by the Allies. I mean, I think it wasn't what you call one of the greatest grand finals you'd ever see. They didn't see much life after a while, because once the Allies got that far in front, I think the sting went out of it. And as you said, it was just pride for Fish Creek in that last quarter, and they had more to gain maybe than what the Allies did.
But all right, we'll try and beat the microphone of the presentation. Very quickly, a couple of best players for Fish Creek.
Well, Fish Creek, Mitchell had just about
I'd say Mitchell had to be their best on the ground for them. He tried all day until he run himself into the ground, basically. He was just about had it by the end of the game. It's pretty hard to find too many. They were in and out of the game a fair bit. That was a problem.
Yeah, so they didn't have anyone who played a good 4 quarters, I didn't think, except for Mitchell. And you can probably look at it, Graham. I'd say Hoskins, Seren played in passages.
Clark played reasonably in and out of the game.
You saw what Burleman did in the last half. If you average that over a whole game,
it makes us wonder why he was on the bench for the first half. Maybe they thought they'd be too big, but that's been their strength all the year by their height. But they made the decision.
What about the Allies?
Well, you can't take anything away, I don't think. It'll be interesting to see what else gives the best on the ground, but our decision, I think, is most likely Regan Ryan.
Yeah, I go along with you there, Graham. He was in everything all day, and he was instrumental in a lot of their forward attacks, and I'd say he's kicked a couple of goals as well, and his game was, I thought, was probably best in the ground today.
Damien Kerr, he had a fair bit of the ball as well, you know, like
Lithgow on the half-back line.
He never stood out, but he just gets a lot of kick. Jansen, who I think Jansen, had a good first half and a bit. He got to come back into again in there in that last quarter.
He played a very good game too.
Yeah, and when you can watch a game of this and not being rude, and you can't get Adam Vardy into their best players. It just shows you how much they need it, because he usually leads them, but he just took it easy. Took it easy. He wasn't sided to the extent that he usually is, I don't think. And that just shows
another good player played well for the Allies. You can look at the Allies side, and possibly everyone's done a little bit, and it's been the story of the whole season for the Allies. But as you say, it's hard to pick out good players when you have a side that's won a grand final and won it fairly easily when it's all ball down. And as I say, you can look over the whole side and still get say something about every player who's done their little bit towards it.
Okay, well there it is on the Teetha Tyres scoreboard. The final score, Alberton Football League Grand Final. The Allies 15-19, 109, defeating Fish Creek 10-10-70. And in the earlier games, in the fourth, Yarram defeated Veena. The third, Currumborough defeated Rovers. And in the second, Fish Creek defeated Currumborough. That wraps up our coverage. Thank you very much to the League and the Foster Football Club for hosting what's been a tremendous grand final, to Graham and Keith, of course, to Brian for looking after us technologically today, and congratulations to the Alberton League for a well-staged grand. And that wraps up our coverage on 3MFM of Alberton footy for season 99, but we'll look forward to the new millennium now. And
well, that's right. We'll see what happens in the new millennium.
See how many sides there are in Currumborough and all of that. There's still plenty to come. Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you very much for all your help with football, and on behalf of football supporters, that wraps up our footy coverage on 3MFM Football.
Congratulations, both teams on a terrific effort today. It's been a great game. Commiserations to Fish Creek and the fourth final, the third final. And congratulations to the Allies on their big win today. I'll call on Bob Parry to present the Premiership Cup on behalf of Sonara Trophies to the Allies. Does anyone want this cup? Showgrounds trophy presented the Bill Pollock Memorial Trophy presented on behalf of his family.
Next, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to award this trophy to Bill Pollock.
Regional manager of the BCFL, Mr. Alan Tregallis, to present trophies on behalf of the BCFL.
Yes, just on behalf of the BCFL, I'd just like to endorse the sponsor, the major sponsor of the BCFL. That's the Australian Drug Foundation, and their messages of responsible serving of alcohol and smoke-free certainly had a very big impact on Central Australia's social environment and trust. And I certainly congratulate the elderly league for the way that they have embraced the message and they're providing a very healthy and inviting environment for young footballers to come to introduce to our game. So on behalf of the Australian Drug Foundation and the Victoria Company Football League, the BCFL medal for the best player in the grand final, Bill Pavey once again. On behalf of Allen Insurances, we've been awarded a Premiership Coach trophy for the last 9 years also. So Blaine, if you could come forward to Premiership. Last year's coach, Second team, Adam Devon.
Don't like talking much. Just doesn't look around. Work this all the time, have our support. It's temptation. The boys, they work hard all year, go through on the food, it's pretty special I reckon. And that goes to them, they're always on track. And in the end, we come home with the bacon, temptation.
If we can have Dave Varney and Ken McFarlane to come up please to present the Premiership medallions to the players.
I'm trying to get the numbers right. Glenn Garner. That's that for you, mate. Kaiser. Great Mongo. Tapping Craig is ready. Gary Jones. Winker. SEO. Bay Ice, mate. Wally. Arthur will lead a man. No. No legs. Brownie. Jack. Tilly. Spider Heron. Bucko. Reggie. Budgie. Billy, come up, the numbers on here. You great fighter father.
Another mug. Congratulations, thanks for your attendance. Thank you, great for your efforts.
Ha ha ha.